into it, man. All right, what's going on there? YouTube is gonna be Donnie coming to you from Osaka, Japan. A little bit stuffed up. I haven't had Corona, but I had a little head cold the last 3 days, man, and powering through it and not eating and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, those bills got to get paid, and unfortunately, you work for yourself. People think you take days off. Not the case. But anyway, we got my guy Lex here as always, man. What's going on, man? Jumping right into it, man.
Holidays, brother.
Yeah.
Fucking holidays, doing things, trying to stay busy, but shit, I guess we're gonna be looking at a couple days off here pretty soon.
Yeah, man. That's on the 20th. I'm done for the year, like for customers, but I'll still be in here rolling. But the ropes will be up and the cars will be parked there, so ain't nobody dropping by like, oh, I thought you were open and shit like that. So yeah, what's the plan with the family and everything, man?
Bro, chilling. We didn't even spend time with family on Thanksgiving, so we're kind of we're cooling out. I haven't even been in my garage for the last couple weeks. My wife has been hiding Christmas presents from me and the kids in here and wrapping them up every night after work. So I've only been coming to my garage to get things for the track days, and that's really been it.
Yeah. So I mean, for that, man, like, you know, because I was just talking to my barber, my barber, she dyes my hair and everything. Her son's is a product of her ex-husband was black. He's a pro boxer, and her sons are now in two of the popular groups and it's called J Soul Brothers or whatever. It's pretty much like, let's just say, is like Drew Hill and whatever. They're that level, like, I mean, back in that day. But they do the J-pop dudes, and they kind of like, you know, the half breed just stands out. They got the big lips or whatever, and all the chicks are on them, right? And so their mom cuts my hair. Their mom is, you know what I mean, she's pretty cool. And she was like, so what do you like, Christmas and all this stuff, blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, I mean, you know, to be honest, I didn't really tell them about nothing about Santa. They see it and stuff like that, but you know what I mean, I buy them shit all the time, man. So like, you know what I mean, what's your deal on that, man? Like, far as like, you know, some parents like, nah, dude, I'm Santa, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yo,
yeah.
My son knows the vibes.
Yeah.
My daughter will beat my ass.
Nah, yeah.
Santa real to her. My son, though, he knows what's up with us. Obviously, he's fucking 14, but I mean, I told him way back in the day, knock that shit off. You see, when me and mommy get up and go to work, we get your shit. So it's all good.
Yeah, I don't want to be a dick to the kids, but at the same time, I'll be like, yeah, okay, cool. We could play that if you want. But in Japan too, man. I was telling her, I was like, Christmas. I was breaking it down like it's Christian. Like you're all Buddhist, and like Japanese kind of pick and choose what holidays they want to do. Like they like Valentine's, they like Halloween, Christmas, and pretty much, you know, and they do 4th of July, even though like this is not your independence though. So they do fireworks on 4th of July. It's weird as shit it's like an empty celebration, if that makes sense, man, because it has nothing to do with their culture. They just want to, like Halloween, not Times Square, but Tokyo, man, that shit is just like, and I don't think it's nothing in America like how they do Halloween here, man. I'm talking about,
you know, American culture is marketed.
Yeah, exactly. And that's
why.
Bland, man. That's what I told her, man. So anyway, man, what else is up, man? What else you got new going on there and stuff like that, man? Since the last time we talked.
We just did another track day with the RX-8. Got that back out there. I got my ass beat, but it was a track that was not gonna help the RX-8 in its natural habitat. So, but it was fun to do. But it was dope. But dude, because you know, this kind of, unless we get it in for New Year's, this is kind of one of the last pods we're gonna do for the year.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of wanted to do something a little different. Like, would you mind talking to somebody else?
Hey man, like I told you before, man. Anybody who's a brother of yours, man, is a brother of mine, man. So anytime, let me know what's up.
Okay. Well, I told somebody to pull up, and you know, I think I heard a car a little while ago. You know what I'm saying? But I can see if they're around. Oh, I hear them. They're here.
Yeah, man. that car looked pretty familiar, man. Yeah, that looked pretty familiar over there, man. Yeah.
I mean,
those wheels look kind of new though.
Well, this guy. I mean, you can.
Oh yeah, man, I'm getting my Lex on, man. I have to get off the dishes and get on the
Mike himself.
Get on the drag pack now.
Yeah. What's going on, my man?
What's good? How you been, bro?
Good, man. This been a long time overdue, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been talking to Lex for a while, and we always brought up your name here and there, man. So I'm not surprised to see you in here. It's kind of cool, man. It's the last one of the year. This is actually 130, episode number 130. And yeah, man, it's good to go, man. So how's everything going in your land, man? How's everything been?
Man, everything been good, bro. Like things been taking off. Everything's still progressing. So just blessed, bro.
Yeah.
You used to follow me on Facebook a long time ago. So you done seen the growth.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've been following. I guess I told Lex, man, like we just had the last episode, and I think the very first video I seen yours was like the S14. S4, you were battling the S14 cat, and like you went off the course, and that was yeah.
Well, it wasn't really a course.
Yeah.
It was on the street.
Yeah. That's why I said course.
I just so happened to go off into the gravel.
Yeah, man. But that's the first. I mean, that's the very first one I remember seeing of you, man. I subscribed right away, man. The cool thing, man, is like you've been doing it like. Your growth has been so quick, man, that you go back and you think the videos be 10 years ago. It's only like 5-6 years ago. So it's pretty cool, man. So right out the back, man, before we get into it, man, my thing, man, is just like, thank you for being you and not some fucking clown out there, man, because there's too many of them out there. And I think, we keep it 100% over here, man, as far as like, you know what I mean? Like the how people carry themselves, man. And like, it's definitely been, that's my thing, man. Like, I mean, it's just thank you for being you. Because, man, on YouTube right now, and not only YouTube, but in the world, man, there's so many fake dudes out there, man, and you don't know who's who. So, yeah, that's what it is, man. So, but all in all, man, like, I mean, what you was getting into today, man? What you did before you came over here?
Man, I was actually doing some street tuning. I still got the laptop and the Z. So,
nigga got my whole garage smell like E85.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we was on a little street tuning. I'm logging, sending logs to my tuner, so revisions and stuff like that. But I think we're probably on the last log right now. Got this thing at 27 pounds, so I think we good. We good.
And the Z community, man, like how many guys, like kind of, I mean, because it seemed like you got the hardcore Z guys as VG30 till they die, man. But then like they don't work on their shit. They're always blowing shit up, and then like I mean, imagine trying to do turbos in that fucking tight ass engine bay, man. How's it? How's your feedback from the actual Z dudes, man, on like far as what you do with the car and everything?
So to be, I mean, it goes both ways, man. Like my experience with the Z32 dudes, like it's kind of like a love-hate thing, and part of that comes from a long time ago, younger days. I had a Z32, a TT at the time,
right,
and I was doing a bunch of street drifting. So you had at the time it was more older dudes that had those cars, and with me being a younger dude, hooning, drifting on the freeway and stuff, they were like, oh, this nigga is making us look terrible.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to see that shit. Like, I got banned from the Z32 page. To this day, I'm not on the Z32 page.
Yeah. Man, that shit it don't make no difference now because, I mean, everything's on fucking Facebook now so far, It
was, the thing I love about it is, my last car, when it got fucked up, you had hella Z32 people hating. They're like, that should get about time, blah, blah, blah. And since then, I built the SE. It blew up. Like everything took off. And then once I got the Z32, I was destined to be like, I'm gonna finish this car and I'm about to come back even harder. And once I finished this car, it got posted on that same page I'm banned from. And people were like, oh, yo, whose car is this? It's hella sick. And then when people started putting two and two together, they're like, hey, anybody posting this car, your ass getting banned. We don't want to see banned from that dude. I swear.
Man, got banished to another.
Yeah, I got super banished from the Z32 page, but it's cool because when it comes to Z32s, I'm one of the OGs in this chassis, man. So it's a blessing to represent this chassis, whether it's love or hate. So I'm not even tripping.
Man, but look, this is current, right? Mike has a history, yo. So there's a lot, like you're saying, you were getting familiar with him, S14.
Yeah.
That was late beginning of Riot Squad days.
Yeah.
But Mike has been like plugging at this shit. How old are you now?
Damn, man.
You don't even know.
like
Yeah,
bitch,
hey, you don't even fucking know how old he is,
Nah,
man.
I'm about to say
He's like, shit, man.
32 now, man. So
But-
you've been.
But look, yo,
I've been doing Lexus. I was like, shit,
15.
15. So
Mike's got a long story.
Yeah,
with
man.
this,
That's what I'm gonna get into, man. Like, you know, before all the YouTube stuff and everything, man.
So it's not. This isn't new. Like a lot of people ask Mike, I see it a lot. So I lurk. A lot of people always ask me, "You and Mike still cool?" Because we don't interact a lot on social media.
Right.
It's like, yeah, it's my nigga. You know, I need something from him, I talk to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't do it on the gram. Mike first was hanging out at a shop that I used to go to before the shop became the shop that he was hanging out at. That was my original RX-7 guru shop.
Mm-hmm.
When the other dudes took it over, they were a little bit more hood. The other dude was OG Chinese. It was like, come here and drop your car off, leave.
Yeah.
and because you knew of William.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when these cats took off, Mike would hang out there. And so I was dropping my car off to get some shit done because I wanted to start drifting. This was before I even started drifting. I think this was 08, 09.
Yeah.
And I dropped my car off. We're doing some stuff. We wanted to get on the dyno, blah, 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 blah. I had to go home and grab some tools, some parts or something. This little kid is hanging out there. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to be right back.
Hold on, pause. He said little kid. He like little black kid.
Yeah.
Like,
little nigga around here. All these Asian people. What's the little nigga doing over
And
here?
he is quiet. Mike is a personality now, right?
Right.
But he was quiet. He was just chilling over there. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to go grab my shit, and then I'll be right back. He just said, hey, can I come with you?
Straight up.
I'm like, all right, little nigga, come on. I don't know him, right?
Yeah.
I don't know this little kid, right? So I'm like, all right, come on. He jumps in the back of the truck. He don't say a word. He's really there for the ride. We go to my house, got some shit, boom, boom, bam. That was the beginning of me knowing this little dude, right? So
even before that.
Yeah.
So when his car was there, I was sitting in his car.
Yeah.
I was sitting in his car because that was the first time I even seen a quick release. So I'm sitting in Lex's car, not knowing whose car it is. It's just at the shop that I'm always at. I'm like, damn, like, oh, we got an RX-7 here. This is sick.
That's the kind of kid who like, jump in the nigga's shit.
Yeah.
And just be all in the
yeah. You know, back in the day, it was like manners were a little different. You look at like, all right, it's at this shop where we hang out at. It's on limits to everybody. That's how I felt about it. I didn't know at the time. Not to be all in somebody's stuff in personal space and all that, but
it was super cool because then I was like, I was like, because when I was doing motorcycle shit, I had youngsters with me then. They just pop up. My brother said, yo, I got some little young niggas. I said, all right, bring them through. Because remember, I was telling you, my house was always like the chill spot. So the youngsters was always around me. So then I say, oh, I'm about to start back with the car shit. I got a little homie that, you know, he's just around. You know, at the time, I don't know. He was grade school. So I don't know, maybe it's junior or sophomore or something. Yeah. But the point was he had interest in these cars. And Japanese cars at that. Wasn't no donks and all the shit at the time. It was like scraper thizzed out, Fizz Nation over here. So he was into this. So I was like, okay, the little homie can roll with me. And then, you know, I'm like, I didn't know where he was from, but across the street from the shop is Notorious Acorns. So I'm like, if this little nigga from the Acorns, he's a murderer or his family member's a murderer. But I'm like, we'll see what his mannerisms is like. So long story short, he's around. He's going to drift days with people. Like he show up at the shop, jump in with them when they're going up to Thunder Hill. And he was just in the mix. So I'm like, okay, this kid is in the mix, right? I watched him grow up on MySpace. This nigga had like 5,000 friends. I'm like, how this little weirdo nigga?
I was 25K on MySpace back in the day.
You had the max. Damn. What was the max?
No, MySpace didn't have a limit. I had 25.
It was all bitches he didn't know.
Yeah, you know.
Well, shit. So that's like you be doing it. So pretty much it's like you be doing because MySpace came out like I was in college and then Facebook came out and just killed that shit, man. Because I was like,
you had to be in college for Facebook.
Yeah, and that mean
so that's how I had
it was
Facebook.
a study tool, and I used in the first week I banged like 5 chicks off that shit, man. So that shit was great. So I was like, yeah, like we're in the same class. I missed the notes, go over to our room, like, yeah, you know, blah blah blah. Then we get into it or whatever, man. But hey, Mike, man, what I want to do, man, before we get too deep into the stories, man, like before that moment when you met Lex at the when you was in this shit at the shop, like what got you, like what was the first thing that caught your attention and got you into the cars and everything, man? Cars and bikes.
Man, so Lex is more into the bikes. I tried that and I ran into a bush and I was like, you know what? 2 wheels ain't for me. I think I need double the wheels, so I stuck to 4 wheels. But nah, man, I've always been into cars. Like as cliche as it sounds, bro. Like ever since I was little, like before I even knew kind of the ins and outs of cars, I had like little go-karts and stuff, and me and the friends would do stuff to that. And our idea of drifting was, we'd go through the park, we'd just drive on the park grass, and it was always wet and slippery. So that was our first experience of drifting. Right. We didn't know what it was at the time. It was like, it wasn't even a name or anything for it out here. Yeah. So then as we got older, all the toys just got bigger. Yeah. Where I'm from in Oakland, I'm from 9A. And, we had, obviously right at the park, it's a drug spot. And you'd always see like our big homies or our older people in the hood, they would come through with like Fox bodies and Mustangs and stuff. They were supercharged. So they had money back in the day. So we was used to them coming, doing donuts and stuff in front of the park. And then as we got our go-karts and stuff and we slowly evolved it into cars, it was like, it was just the transition from a bigger toy to a even bigger toy. So, but my first experience with JDM cars, honestly, shitty part is I would have to say like me wanting a Supra from Fast and Furious type stuff. Yeah. That's like everybody's story.
But that ain't bad because you were actually that generation of kid at that point in time. Mm-hmm. Like, we're older, so we were like 20 when that motherfucking movie came out, 19 when that movie came out.
Dude, I was so serious about it when you remember back in the day when you had that old school Metro, the Nokia, where you drop it, the battery explode, the case, the buttons all fall off. Yeah. Bruh, you know how I used to have the voice memo? I used to record the sound from the Supra on my Nokia and play it back when I was on the bus and stuff. Like, that's how serious I was about owning the Supra, bro. Like, I wanted one. It was either Supra 300ZX or RX-7. Yeah. And luckily for me, I got 2 out of 3 of those cars that I wanted. Yeah. But that's really where it started, man. I was heavy into like wanting to have like a 5.0 and stuff like that because that's what we kind of grew up around and all the older homies had them. But when one of my close friends went to jail and the big homies and everything went down with him, it was like everybody that I was kind of like liking Mustangs with was gone. Yeah. So for my senior project, I was just, I stayed down the street from 7th Street, which is like the old spot where Lex used to race at. It was like Oakland International Speedway.
Yeah, we dubbed it Oakland International Speedway.
That was like where all the racing happened. And I'm literally 3 blocks from this. So I used to steal my granny car at night and take her van down the street and, and watch the races and stuff. So I did my senior project on street racing. And like Lex was saying, there was a shop across the street from my house. So I went over there and I was just talking to him. And, after getting all my reports and doing my little interviews and stuff for my senior project, I kind of just kept going over there, chopping it up with him to somehow end up going from I'm going to visit to where this is where I'm hanging out at. I'm chilling here all day. Yeah. So, and it was real.
And he would wrench. They put in the
That's
work
what I'm about to say that they most shops, if you got, you're like, hey, man, go sweep that shit up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go
man. It was, so the dude who owned the shop, this dude named Joey, when I first started going there, I would go there and I would clean up basically. Once I started going there, I was always using the internet. So when they got done by the end of the day, I was like, cleaning up, just helping out, holding my weight because I'm sitting here using up all this shit. Yeah. I'm on MySpace and YouTube all day at the shop. So now, I'm here, and where things really changed for me was this dude named Xander. Mm-hmm. Xander had this 240 that came there.
Which is my son's middle name, Xander.
He had this SR 240. First time I ever even heard of an SR or even paid attention to what a 240 was.
Right. This shit was cool as fuck.
Dude, it was all Type X, super clean, slammed. Like, this is back in the day. So Type X was like, damn. Mm-hmm. Like, it was all OEM stuff. It had 180X windows, like super JDM built. Mm. And I was like, I had already had love for Supras, but this is where I'm kind of like started transitioning to more of like the imports and stuff. So he had this car at the shop, and I'm seeing it. They had just finished it. It was like 290 horsepower at the wheel. They had just finished a tune.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, let's go test drive it." I'm like, "Oh, well, let me ride with you." Dude, I get in the car and I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like, no, we're coming from Fox bodies that might make 200 horsepower maybe,
but they weigh 5,000 pounds and shit.
Yeah, so I get in this 240 and here we are, 290 horsepower to the wheel, and I'm like, this shit is moving. So at that point, I'm like, I want a 240. I'm like, I don't know what an SR 240 is, but I'm like, I want one.
Yeah.
So now it became an obsession to where I'm like, ODing. Instead of me out there cleaning, I'm upstairs on their internet looking at 240s, looking at kids, trying to figure out what an SR is. I'm on All Data trying to figure out what an SR is and how it go. But since All Data was American shit, I couldn't find nothing on the SR anyway. So from there, that's where, like I said, that's where the obsession started at. And then the owner of the shop, Joey, after a few, I want to say probably like 2 years of me being there, he gave me my first car. He gave me a BMW, a little E30.
Okay.
And I want to say I had that car for a week. As soon as he gave me the keys to that car, I sold that car for $300, and I bought a 240 SX for $300, bro. And that was my very first 240.
Yeah, man.
And then my first drift event I ever went to was with one of the dudes from the shop. This dude named Richard, who blew up Lex shit a couple times. So, yeah, he had an SR Corolla at the time. Made 300 horsepower at the floor. That was my first time being in a drift car at the track, and after that I was just like, nigga, like, can we go again? Like, I ain't trying to get out the car, so I had my grandma's fucking motorcycle helmet. It said Lady P on it, but I didn't care, bro. I was out there as a kid just jumping in everybody's shit, trying to get all around as long as I could, man.
Yeah, and what year was that you remember for that first drift event?
Oh, dude, it had to be like 2006 maybe.
Okay.
2006, 2005.
Yeah.
This is when if you had a 240 on like 15 by 8s, you were like the shit.
Yeah. That's the straight Japanese style, man. I mean, so like I asked you that because you're not too far off from when I started. I started in 99. It's like when I first seen my first drift video, 2000, 2001, when I was getting money to ready and everything, and I got 2002. I got my S13 for $1,000, man. Ball tires, almost crashed it the first day I got it, trying to drift the on ramp and shit. And yeah, man. So we're not far apart. And then Lex, you started actually drifting what, 2003, 4?
Yeah, because we were, like I said, we'd be on them hypes. We'd be sitting watching videos and shit. And then it'd be like 2 a.m. We all be like
street. This back then was like street. It was like Street Fire was big back then.
Street Fire, we'd be on, because I worked in Circuit City. I'd be on Street Fire all day in my department looking at the shit. Then we go home at night, everybody be at the crib. We'd be watching option videos. Then after that, it'd be like, nigga, let's go do work. And then we'd be through the streets going crazy.
I'm that cornball you was talking about. I was Initial D was with Gran Turismo, right? And then Initial D, I'm like, man, this shit's like real, man. Let me go do that shit. So we had it was myself and a bunch of I was like the young cat, but I had a bunch of older cats around me. Fortunately, man, to steer me away from doing too much dumb shit. Yeah. So I got my boy's mom house. I got about 15 dudes, man, grown ass niggas, sitting around watching Initial D and shit. I'm like, what the fuck y'all doing in here, man? We're in there watching Initial D and talking to me, doing gutter runs and shit, and she didn't know what the fuck was going on, but like we was like, that shit was all introduction, like, to that type of stuff. Then of course option and all that stuff came out. So it's kind of cool, man. I think we're still in that same bracket, man, as far as stuff going off, man. Like, but like my other question, Mike, man, is like you mentioned, man, Lex mentioned right there with where you're possibly from and everything. Like coming up from where you come up from, man. How's it like from where you came from, schooling and everything, how you were raised, man, to where you're at right now, man? Like, how is it? How would you look back on things coming up, man? And how was, how easy was it for you to go the wrong way or, be totally far gone and gangbanging and all that type of shit, man?
Man, it's out here. It's super easy, dude. Right. Like the crazy part about Oakland is we don't have like colors. There's no Crips and Bloods or anything like that. We bang what we call like sets and hoods.
Gotcha.
So it's almost every 10 blocks would be a different set. Like, right. I'm from 9-8. So from 9-0 to 9-9, basically, that's who we click with.
Right.
You know, but then you'll be literally across the train tracks from somebody that's in the hundreds or something and be beefing like, hey, we'll know as kids, dude. I was in middle school, like, hey, we ain't going across the train tracks.
Yeah, invisible
barriers.
Like,
man. We don't go across there, and they better not come over here. So
yeah.
And it wasn't even nothing we knew about. We just grew up with the mindset of our older homies, like, hey, we don't fuck with them. So it was like, hey, we don't fuck with them. We don't know why we don't fuck with them, but the older homie said if we see him, it's on sight. So
right.
But Mike didn't escape issue, right? He's sitting here with a bullet hole, or not even that, a surgery scar from being shot.
It's out here was like the big change for me, and I would say was, like, I remember I told y'all my older homies was like, they was out here getting money.
Right.
And as me and my boys started, getting older, they were kind of looking at us like, all right, as like, y'all can start hanging with us now type shit. Like, we can start putting y'all on missions. And one of my close friends, my partner Aaron, he started fucking with the, our older homies and stuff. And he was starting to come up. Next, he had, I seen him with hella money and stuff. So it got to a point where I was like,
yeah,
bruh, like, you always got bread. Put me on, bruh. Like, fuck this. I'm working at Ross. I'm working at Express. I'm getting $8 an hour. I'm like, fuck that. I'm trying to get on whatever you getting on because, nigga, I see you getting money.
Right.
And he was like, he was like, man, you sure? He's like, man, I don't want to put you in this environment, blah, blah. I'm like, nigga, I'm sure. Like, that was just the mindset. I'm like, I'm ready. Whatever it is, let's just do it.
Yeah.
So he was like, all right, I'm going to hit you in the morning when we get ready to go. That morning, I wake up. I call him. He ain't answer.
Eager.
I call him. I wake up, call him. He ain't answer. Call him again. He ain't answer. I'm like, this nigga catting off on me. He faking on me. He ain't trying to take me to get this bread. And next thing you know, he hit me probably like a couple days later from jail, get a collect call. And I was like, damn. He was like, yeah, bro. He was like, I didn't feel right taking you with me. And he was like, look at that. If I would have took you with me, he was like, you would have been right here with me.
Yeah.
He did 10 years on some shit that I was going to go with him for.
No shit.
So, at that point when he in jail, I'm just like, it changed my whole mindset, man. I got one of my day ones who's like my best friend. He locked up. Another partner that I grew up with from the same hood. Next, he dropped me off at home after I get tatted. 2 days later, he get killed. So it's like left and right from high school all the way until, almost, so I was probably like 25. It was just like constantly, I'm either losing friends and finding out friends are on drugs or people just getting killed, bro. So, for me, the car stuff just, it set my mind in like a whole different space where it's like, you know what? I can't be focusing on what's going on out here. If I got people that ain't trying to do better, like I couldn't have them around me. Yeah. And even when, when the YouTube and everything started taking off, I started realizing that. I started realizing like, man, everybody that's around you ain't an asset. Yeah. Because even one of the things I'll never forget was when Lex had told me, he was like, when we're all on the same squad, he was like, man, we had a big sponsor deal. And he was like, but they didn't want to sponsor us because he was like, they want to sponsor us, but they didn't want to sponsor you because of the shit that I was doing. He was like, the brand looked at you as a liability and not an asset. So at that point, it really opened my eyes. I'm like, man, I gotta like lightweight change the shit that I'm doing.
But you see, I didn't take it because I value my nigga over anything else.
And you kept it real with him too. You kept it real with him as far as like 8 years.
Well, that's what I've done from day one. Mike and I have butted heads for all the time.
We didn't talk for like a year.
And when we did talk, it was like, nigga, run fade. Like, let's just get it out the way. Because, you know what I'm saying? But literally, because we'll get back on his thing, but it was, he had came to me, I'm an adult. Because I've been doing my thing since I was 15, 16. Like you see how close he could have been to his life being changed? Mine was the same way, but I went a different way, right? Because to us, when we're working, we're kids, and we're getting that little money, when somebody else getting money, we're like, yo, get me to the money, nigga. Really, fuck this job, nigga. I'm out if you say the money's there for me. Like my partners, people will ask how I learned how to drive, how I learned how to drift. I was a car theft ring driver. I was the only one that knew how to drive manual. So when we got kind of busted, but I wasn't with the cars, with the load, with shit happening. And I got my car took, all my money took, and everything that was on me, that was mine. Because that night I was like, nah, I'm not fucking with y'all. I'll take you over there, but I'm sleeping in my car. And when the cops came, because they was doing some fuck shit trying to get a car, they pulled up on me, and I'm sleeping in the car, and I got busted, whatever. So that's what turned me. And I knew the car saved me because I just got into imports at the time.
Yeah.
And I was done fucking with the muscle cars that they were stealing. And I'm like, I'm not driving no more. I'm driving these cars. So that car, it got all my money took, but small fee to not get really caught in the life. Same thing.
Yeah.
Mike see that happen. He's smart enough to know he ain't going to say, well, that's them niggas. Let me find who else to get on with. So my thing, always having the youth around me, I'm like, ooh, let me give him some quick game. So Mike, I could see he's a good kid. He's just a hood kid.
Right.
Like me. I'm from the block, south side of Richmond, where shit go crazy. Niggas pull up at our high school and be laying niggas down.
Right.
You get out of school, walk out the doors, get shot up. So, good kid, hood kid, right? So I see him, I'm a little older, let me put you on game. And at the time, because money is a thing, right?
Right.
So
no doubt.
he notices this nigga getting money too, but how? And I'm like, oh, I go to work every day.
Yeah, see, and that was the thing too. Like when I had first met Lex, you know, when I had first gotten to the JDM side of things, it was more like a whole bunch of Asian people or white people. So when I first seen him and he came around with the RX-7 and I found out it was his car, I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like you've been in the middle of Utah somewhere and you're like, oh shit, it's another nigga. Like,
yeah.
So when it was. As a kid, I had looked up to him. I was like, I'm hanging with bruh. He got the RX-7, and then I found out, he's a longshoreman and stuff. I'm like, yo, and he was a well-spoken nigga.
Yeah.
Like Lexus always had good vocabulary, good grammar, and knew how to talk. And I would see him networking with sponsors and stuff, and I'm like, yo, that's dope.
Yeah,
my first time even being part of a pit team was when he was doing Pro-Am.
Okay.
I helped him pit. So
and Mike went hard for me that day. He was about to beat up the organizers.
Oh shit! What happened, man?
It was some wild shit that happened.
Yeah.
But I'm like, chill out, blood. And I'm like, this little nigga. I was like, okay, he ready to go for me. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, good.
Well, speaking on that, man, it's like I just seen her. I run your stuff all the time in my shop. I just put it on like whatever and it plays, whatever, man. So I was working, and it was just playing back your joints, and the joint came on with the y'all was out somewhere, man. Like I think it was Colorado or something. It was like a forest type shit. It was a dude at the picnic table.
Oh, cuz.
Yeah. We were out at Tahoe, Lake Tahoe.
And what we're getting at, man, is like, you know what I mean? On the channel, one thing I see in your comments, because I mean, I knew of you a little bit, and then I could tell, I mean, again, Baltimore, the cities is all the same. Like y'all call it sets, we call it blocks. It's all the same shit, just different names. So we're around that environment, man. I'm 38 and I'm in Japan, northern Japan, and I try to keep it positive, but bro, it take like a one comment or one something to flip that script, and I'm like, dude, you don't know who the fuck you talking to, man. And then I gotta like educate motherfuckers who are from Wisconsin who never been around an inner city cat. So I can see you out there being positive and stuff, but like one thing I know from the video is like dude, don't get on the dude's bad side because shit will flip the script. And we go back to 2012 version and shit real quick.
I've been this nigga, yo. Hey man, Mike be getting it in on his own. I remember he a kid, right, working at what was that? Firestone or some shit. Some nigga talking crazy. He in the back beating the nigga up by the tires, right? Always filming.
Oh, so, customer or employee.
Coworker,
yeah, my man.
So, look, the story behind that dude is we had hit bonus, so our boss, the dude who owned the store,
he
was like, yeah, I'm gonna take all y'all out to Red Lobster or wherever we had went.
Oh.
So we all out, all the techs, everybody, we all there having a good time, and they started getting drunk. I don't drink,
right?
So one of the techs was saying something, was like, somehow we got on the conversation of the people that talk the most don't actually fight.
Oh,
and I was like, well, I talk a lot of shit. I was like, but I'll back up anything I say. And then dude said something smart, and I was just like, kind of like what you saying?
Yeah.
We get into it that night, but then our boss is like, oh no, y'all all brothers, we all work together, chill out. I'm like, all right, cool. And then something happened a week later. This dude said something stupid
Triggered.
on Facebook. He said something stupid on Facebook. So I called my boss. I'm like, hey, I'm letting you know I'm on my way up there because I'm about to put hands on this nigga for talking reckless. My boss was a thug. He was like, I guess he was part of like the Asian mafia or something.
Oh.
Because he was like, man, whatever y'all do, he was like, just don't let it happen at work. Take that shit around the corner. So I went up there. I pulled up. I'm like, what's up, bro? Like, come on, let's walk down the block. We go down the block. You know, I put hands on him. He go back to work. That was his last day. My boss was like, what you hit him with? I'm like, man, that was these beaters, man.
So, yeah. Mike, so, like, Mike knows who my OGs are. Mike also knows the group that I used to hang out with. They were some real boys. Because Mike was trying to be down. We were street racists, but it was some real niggas, right? But, so I knew Mike was like, I'm like, all right, I know what it is with Mike. But for me, I would like to show him there's other ways to handle those kind of situations. But but when shit do get crazy, nigga, it is what it is, right? So there's been some times Mike called me, yo, roll with me. You say roll with me, I'm rolling with you. I jump in. Hey, and
we won for one. I got Lexus some shit, and Lex got me into some shit. We definitely 1 for 1.
Hey, but the thing is, it's like when he say, "Yo, roll with me," this is the epitome. I'm not really asking no questions,
right?
Because for one, he sound like his mind's made up. For two, I gotta go make sure he good, right? We could be 2 versus a few, don't matter. I know what he gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do, and Nita's always a getaway driver. When you see his girl, people, because I used to see people be like, yo, why you getting into shit like that with your girl having your... They don't understand. She's a goon. But she be at the ready. So her older, and she's got the camera at the ready and all this shit. She's been doing that since a youngin'. There's been Shabuga Bops on film that's been caught. You know what I'm saying? I might be monitoring the group of dudes over here, make sure they don't do nothing. He running the ones with somebody else, and she filming it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd be some wild shit. But what I was noticing, I'm like, okay, so he's on the go. And I remember I used to be like that. My OGs, we'd go to these clubs on Fridays and Saturdays just to fight.
Right.
I wouldn't even get dressed.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even get dressed. I'd go in the club like this. We pay our money, get through the door. OGs would be like, boom, point them out. My job was to enforce. They said they gotta go. They said put hands on them. We gonna maneuver it in a way. We're not gonna fuck the club up. It's gonna be a smooth way because we know how to make somebody that's that's riled up.
Right.
Make them start it. So it looks a different way. I don't run up on you, bump you, and make you, I just be in your space doing something, not obnoxious, but like, there's songs.
I've been there. Been there fucking rave dancing.
Yeah, there's songs that used to get niggas beat up. Lil Jon, Eastside
Boy,
yeah,
yo. Anything by 3-6.
And them. Fuck them other niggas. We wait for those songs to come on and we go what we call who riding over here. Basically throwing it up, going crazy in everybody's face. They get agitated. Good, you fell into my trap. Whop, 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 wham, club over, everybody whooped. So I knew that wasn't a good time for me. I see he's like that. So let me show him a different way. So you learn how to talk to people a certain way, like when they get wild, it's like, yo, chill out. Like, I got confidence, I put hands on you, but when they can, like, be cool. You know what I'm saying? Let's figure this out. So I'm trying to show Mike that, but Mike, there'd be certain people where I'd be like, yeah, you're clear.
It's really the generation, man, because before, it was like the transition of figuring out what trolling was.
Right.
Yeah.
So where I come from, it was like, if you had a problem, we meet up and we throw hands, we fight. It wasn't I'm gonna talk about you behind the internet, and then when I see you, I'm just playing, man. I'm just trolling. Like it wasn't none of that. Yeah. So it was, one point where Lex agitated it, where dude was on the drift page and was like, basically, long story short, he got into it with another dude, and then came in my direction talking to me, and I had nothing to do with what they had going on. Mm-hmm. And he was just like, "Oh, I'll leave you bloody and drag you back to your family," and I'm like,
"That's crazy."
I'm like, "Yo, it wasn't no arguing." I was like, "All right, when you see me, bro, do it. When I see you, it's on site. Ain't nothing else to talk about."
So you know what I was doing? I don't leave a paper trail. Yeah, he's coming to the track today. Yep.
Dude, come on. We get to the racetrack. I'm sitting there at the entrance of where everybody's going to line up for drifting. I'm there with Lex and his cousin. We sitting there chilling. We having a good time. The nigga that was talking shit pulls right in front of us to get his car tagged. Lex looked at me like this.
But
I looked back at Lex.
He knew what the look was.
I was like, bruh. He was like, "You ain't gonna do it." I said, "Oh, shit, bro. We on track." I'm literally. I walk up to bro on track like, "Hey, what's good?" He like, "Really?" I said, "Bro, on site is on site." He was like, "At the track?" I'm like, "Bro, smack, like nigga, put your dick beaters up, bro. We about to run." You know, and then the cold part that had me so mad about Lex is once I dropped dude and I got ready to give him the crip walk on his head type shit, Lex pulled me off of him.
There's honor in it, yo.
Yeah.
No, you know, there's honor in it. Because when I used to beat people up, when you're down, it's over with. Me, one, because I used to be fighting so many people at one time. It was like, boom, when you down, the next man, woo, woo. But then I learned it's like, you know, you whoop a nigga and it's
when you want to really disrespect somebody, I can see if it was like I got into it with my partner, we fight, cool, we done. But this nigga who said he's gonna drag me back,
I was watching him. Mike's rage was going up during the fight. So it was past the we're throwing him. Now the rage is happening, and I think he missed a swing that he just knew he wanted to land, and that made him even more mad. So then it was like, all right, when this nigga started spinning and twirling around, and dude was out of his mind.
Oh, when all this going on, man, what's the environment around? What is?
We're at the racetrack.
It was shot,
Hey, everybody knew it was gonna happen because they seen everything that transpired on the drift page.
Yeah.
So when he pulled up, somebody had the camera already out. They said, "Oh shit, there goes Sean, there go Mike Myke." And dude was talking shit. He narrated
and it was funny because I'm chilling on the fence like this with my arms on the fence. Mike here and my cousin over here next to us. So I'm chilling like this. And you see the head look, you see Mike look at me, and then you just see this. Then it was just activity. And everybody froze. Even security, everybody was like, wait,
the
y'all
track
about to do this?
Nobody was even on track. It was like the track stopped.
Yeah.
They didn't even flag somebody else.
All right,
to
so after the joint went down and everything, man, and like, you know, everything's over. So what, did the event go on and y'all drift away?
Yeah, I went home for the day, but
but everybody knew.
Everybody knew
because they just said, yo, just go home today
and come back next week. I didn't even get banned. Because they knew what was going on, man. This dude had been talking shit to everybody, and it was just, I'm not from a generation of trolling, so at the time I didn't know how to deal with it.
Right.
Like even when you know, when going back to that event that he did when I was all fired up, I was like, I feel like you got cheated. And if you don't want to get kicked out the event, I'm not a driver. I'm like, I'll go beat this nigga up. Just make sure you get me home. Security grab me.
And it was, and this is why, so Mike was around us, and I knew he was ready to rock. So this is why when we started, this is part of what Riot Squad was all about. So me and my partner Jay are old heads, right? Mike is the younger us, but these young niggas is crazy, right? But we can kind of show them a few things, OG style, and try to influence him to mix with what he already knows.
Right.
So that's why we were like, yo, we're opposed to all this other shit that y'all do. We're really about this, that, the third, whenever it comes about, but we have this ideology. Mm-hmm. Mike was new school. If there was any way to just plainly put it, it's new school versus old school. Me and my boy from the 80s, Mike from the 90s. Me and my boy grew up through the 90s. Mike grows up in the thousands. Mike has a more, like how we look at millennials now, like you niggas is really weird, right?
Yeah.
But it's not that they're weird. They think so much different than us.
Talking about the Island Boys? Yeah.
All of that, right? Like Mike's full of tattoos, and I'm like, why are you doing this, bro?
Yeah.
Get a job. Don't get all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't. Because I was literally like, Mike, what? Keep it to here, and to there.
He was like way more strategic with how he wanted to move. To me, I was like, hey, we street drifting. It's going on the internet. He was like, we gotta do this. Everything wants to be organized, and that's where we had bumped heads at. I was like, man, I'm not sitting on this stuff. I'm out here risking my life, my car for this footage. I'm like, I'm putting it out.
And this is the brilliance that happened, which I didn't understand, but Mike did.
Right.
We start bumping heads with that. Even when we would always joke on the phone and send each other videos and shit. One clip that went out and kind of went semi-viral was started from a joke where we was always talking about niggas asking us about our cars. Nigga, what's this? What's that? Nigga, what you do with this? Woo! And we were just talking in a certain way that was super fast. And then these niggas was like, yo, you should put that out. And I'm like, nah. Because for one, I look silly, right?
It's funny though.
Yeah, but see, Mike knew, no, that's funny. Mike knew, no, that's good. That's got to go. Me being old school,
I'm gonna wait on it.
Yeah.
He was like, remember how they sat on the Carter 5 for so long? You're like, nigga, it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
That's how Lex operates. He probably still got video somewhere in the archives that's recorded in 720p
480i.
No, 480, yeah.
But Mike knew the value of what happens right now goes out on the internet right now.
Right.
And I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
So where we started bumping heads, because we'd be chilling at the trap, and him and Jay would be talking shit, and y'all niggas go handle it then.
Yeah, we would do it nowadays if I could get some of the footage that we had back then, because before it was like, obviously I didn't have as many sponsors, and I wasn't thinking about consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Back then it was just like I'm trying to slide. That's all that. Only thing I cared about was drifting. That's all that mattered to me. So when me and Jay were talking smack, like, oh no, I serve you. Like, well, we got a freeway going around.
Yeah.
Lex would be in the middle of the street recording. Yeah. Next thing you know, we Dorian down the street, coming up to this on ramp, dude. Like, we were real life wilding toward now that footage would have been like, yo, this is dope footage, but Lex then sat on it, then lost it, and got rid of his iPhone 2 and got a 12 now.
So Mike was getting frustrated at, nigga, we supposed to be lit.
Right.
I was like, we doing all these videos and we ain't putting nothing out. Like, we gotta put it out. Like, I wanted to throw out content.
Yeah, because it was a little bit late. Like this, let me see, because it was a little bit later than the like I said, the time frame you're talking about. It was past the DVD point because I made a DVD.
2012. It was 2012, 2013 ish.
Yeah,
because I was right. We were like. So what I was basically doing is just showing Mike, like, this is the old school ways. When we were at the street races, fuck the lights, we're breaking laws, keep breaking them until we're done breaking them,
right.
And then we be law-abiding citizens.
Right.
So when we go drift, fuck the lights, fuck the stop signs, fuck the roads. This is the course. You do it. So that's why you're saying, so some of the footage would have been wild because it's like, no, we don't do the new school. Y'all go block the road. No, we're doing it as the road exists.
Yeah.
Right. So
I feel like he felt like the footage was
hey,
like,
man, you gotta go find that shit, man.
So
we were old school. So YouTube was like kind of really cracking. So what Jay and I wanted to do was make like a mixtape,
right,
and put it out.
And that's what I mean. That was like that's what I mean because I did a DVD with my team in 2005 and we sold about 5,000 units. But at that point, like YouTube was starting to get like I think 480p at that time, and then it was starting to go away.
We were dinosaurs. Yeah. Mike was thinking about what the actual
the current shit
trend is.
Yeah.
We were thinking not DVDs, but we'll upload a 40-minute video somewhere posted on our site, because our thing is we want control of us.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna host the site. We're gonna put it up there. You gotta buy dope from us type mentality.
Right,
Mike
right.
like, nigga, let the world see this shit. And we didn't understand. So Mike's getting frustrated. And the purity of it, this is what was the great thing with Mike. The purity of it is he just wanted to have fun. We're doing fun shit. You old niggas is stifling the fun. We're having fun, but you niggas is, fucking up the end result. It's like banging a broad. You don't get to the euphoria. You ain't busting nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you were banging though.
Yeah.
And so that's when Mike started to get frustrated.
Yeah.
We had an IG for the team. Nobody knew who ran it. We all had access to it. But Mike started to get in competition with the team. So he's like,
pause.
Yeah.
Hold on. Before we get there, the thing was like, I'm going to drift events. I'm putting out content. I'm like, yo, go to the team. Go to the team page. Yeah. So I felt like, I was like, man, I'm putting on for the team. Mm-hmm. My fucking OG don't want me posting nothing for the team. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I kind of started my own thing.
Okay. And all of this is valid. This is really how it went down. But I guess I missed the mark. We missed the mark in understanding the let's say like how YouTube is right now. Right?
Yeah. I got a question for you.
Your boys is on, you're kind of on, right. Let's just say, right? But let's just say it's a bigger conglomerate. This is a big corporation. The big corporation's like, yo, go check out our driver. Go check out this, go check out that. And then the other guys are like, yo, yeah, follow the team, woo woo. So now this page is anonymous. Mm. We don't know who's on it. There's content contributed from all members. But then I tell Mike, like, yo, we got to clean your act up. So you chill out on your IG, and it's kind of, and when you look at it, it's kind of like, that might not have been the vibe, because I was stifling who he was growing to be,
right,
or us on our older values.
Right.
So it was frustrating.
Yeah, and for me, it was like the tipping point for me was like, this is when like now the original dynamic of the team, it was supposed to be 4 of us. Mm. And now they start bringing in, other people. And then with other people, like when JTP came on, he has responsibilities like way above us. Mm-hmm. And now Lex is coming down on me like, yo, you need to chill out. You're going to make everybody on the team look bad. And I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I am done. I don't want to be on no team. I'm not about to be handcuffed.
Yeah.
Like I'm not JTP. I don't got sponsorships. I'm out here trying to have fun. This is what I do. Like, whether it was on or off camera, this is what we were doing. Mm-hmm. So on these platforms, I was like, yo, if I'm going out here and I feel like this is dope, and I came inches away from hitting this oncoming car because I'm sliding, through oncoming traffic, I'm like, I want to post this. Yeah. Right, It's like this is my way of art type of ordeal. Mm-hmm. So once that had happened, and I had left the squad. I had took my boy Jamar with me, who I had brought on the squad, and then me and him did our own thing, and then we're going to events, and now it's like it's us versus them. Now we're looking at, dude, we're looking. I swear, I'm going there. I don't even follow the page. I'm going there refreshing, seeing what the follower count is like. Dude, we're like this. Neck on followers. I'm like why? Like, what is going on here? Yeah. So, it was like that for a minute. And then I was just like, man.
But it was smoke though, because me and Jay is like, anytime these niggas is at an event, we lining up on these niggas, right? And then they was like, it was just like nobody knew, right? Because they keep it in house. But we was like,
it wasn't like, oh, I don't fuck with this nigga when I see him. It's a problem.
Because we still talked. Yeah.
It was like. This is my old head. When you a little homie, you ready to be a big homie. I'm this is my old head right now. I'm gonna show him that I can put it on his fucking door. I'm like, I'm not this kid that just learned how to try to do donuts with his open diff. I'm like, I got some years of driving with me. To this day.
And I was purposely trying to make him a precision driver, so he was already aggressively trying to be like this, and I was like, nah. You need to be directed like this when you drifting, and this is a wasted because this nigga want to get in there the whole fucking time.
Looking like the South African dudes and shit. The little
Dude, I took my car from the dyno. It's called that Lex. We had the track. I just got my SR. I made 500 horsepower, bro. We own. Dude, that was my first time ever even having a car at 500, dude. Yeah. I was so scared to upshift. I just sat on it in the limiter.
Sat on the limiter. Like, Mike,
he's like, shift up. I'm like, no, he's going way too fast. Dude, I broke my rocker arm. All kinds of stuff.
Then that was the other thing. Okay, so they were already feeling how they were feeling, and me and my boys were like, nope, we're gonna hold it together. We're gonna keep doing this like deal. They gotta understand. It's like we're trying to discipline them.
Right.
But it's no need to discipline. We should have just understood. We got some wild boys with us. Yeah. We're precision over here. They wild entities, but it's all the same thing. Right. So when we go to events, we may go to an event a week or two before Jay and I drive. We glide through. We try to do grace and elegance, right? These niggas come through, whoa, this rock and roll music. These niggas are hitting the walls, breaking shit. There's wild shit happening, right? Yeah. But they're getting it in. And then me and Jay are looking at each other like, did these niggas just crash? Right? Yeah. And then it's like, God damn it, right? But the thing is it's not like they crashing and the car stay fucked up. They crash. We had a work ethic, niggas get it back together. But during those time frames where they crash or do something, Jay and I'd be looking at each other frustrated, like, did y'all niggas just go have a bad showing, bro?
Yeah, like, see, we having fun. They like,
right.
Y'all went out there clean and tore up all your arrows. Y'all making us look bad. I'm like, bro, like, Lex was like, when it came down to presentation, bruh, that nigga used to irk my nerves. Like we're going to an event.
We be in the trap the night before.
He'll say some slick shit. You cool with those canards sitting like that? Like always, dude.
Yeah.
Like, so you cool with this zip tie showing? Yeah. So even now that his door all fucked up, I be like, so you out here with this ruffled ass door, like what's going on?
The rest of my car is stellar, but my door I didn't have time to find another door. But that's how it was, and all I was trying to do is just say, hey, let's put forth a little bit of effort the night before, so we could show up clean. You're gonna tear your shit up. It didn't matter where we went. Anytime we drove, Mike's car, he would blow fenders off because his tires would explode and come through his. It was just like, nigga, your car comes home fucked up every time, right?
Yeah.
But we put in the work at the trap the night before. Like, my shop, I could be chilling at the house trying to sleep. But if you call and be like, yo, I'm finna come through the trap. All right, I get up, go, it's all you. We had a little kicking area, whatever. We be in there late nights, niggas sleeping in that motherfucker and everything. But it was just like, but get your car taken care of.
Right.
We gotta show up clean.
Right.
You're gonna do whatever you're gonna do, but you gotta show up clean. So when that split happened, I was kind of like, damn. So to me, I was like, okay, little homie wants to be big homie, and I see it, I understand it. Let's see what he does.
Right.
So we appear to be mad at each other. Okay, we weren't fully communicating. I wasn't following him on social media. He wasn't following me, whatever the case is. But as a brother, I'm still looking at your shit.
Same.
Okay, he doing this. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, he drove.
See, but even though when you know Lex is looking at you, like I said, this fool is so strategic about shit. I'm like, all right, this fool looking at this, but he plotting on the way to do something better. I'm like, he's just trying to keep up with the Joneses. That way I don't one up him. I'm like, anytime you deal with him, it's like you like I gotta look at shit from different standpoints because you don't know what mindset he's looking at it from.
Yeah.
So
I got a real quick question. Like, so Lex, man, what was? Because I mean, I'm like, this shit's awesome, man. So, what was the moment, man, when you were like, man, When did it click? You're like, man, this little nigga was right, man. Look at this shit going up and everything, man. What was that moment? And then when you realize that moment, did you get with him right away and say, hey, man,
No, because I'm
strategic.
maniacal.
Yeah.
I'm
you just said.
To this point. So I see every time he fucks up,
right,
he gets people in support of him. Every time.
Right.
Yo, you're gonna be right. And he come with some, at the time in my head, some lame ass quote.
Some motivation shit.
What's up with this nigga? Yo, just don't fuck up.
Yeah,
like, that's my thought.
Right.
But what Mike was doing, and I'm looking at it as a case study, I'm like, oh, this is fucking brilliant. Like, he can't lose. Even when he loses, he doesn't lose.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, all he has to do is get his car back together and he still garners the same support. Now, he would always say this one thing which would annoy me. All press is good press. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. I'll be like, no, nigga, because I'm in the mindset everything has to be flawless. Everybody's watching this. Everybody this, everybody that, which trapped me in a fucked up place because I now only operate on precision, right?
Yeah.
I don't go nowhere to have fun.
Yeah.
I go there to drive.
And that's definitely a bad thing, man. Because
terrible.
Yeah. Because that's a bad thing.
From 2013 to 2016 was terrible because I was locked in that state of mind. It looked like I was having fun, but every time I drove, I wasn't really having fun. I was trying to do something precise.
If I'm driving with somebody, I'm trying to kill this person.
Kill them, tear their fucking head off.
Yeah.
Right? And so when I'm watching Mike, when we're at odds, he's not losing at all, even when he does lose. And I'm like, damn, that's cool. He actually is using social media in a way to say, yo, I'm an open book. I fucked up. Even when he don't tell y'all he fucked up, I might find he fucked up before everybody else know you fucked up, right? But it was just like, yo, I fucked up, but I'm going to get back. And so he offers that encouragement to himself, which made everybody else offer to him. So I was like, damn, okay, that's tight. And then the type of skits that we would do in the trap and shit, he put those up and he kept on that same wavelength. So I'm like, damn, he's understanding, he's using the internet in a way that we weren't prepared to or even want to use the internet.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, it can't be me. And then me and my boy Jay, I'd be like, yo, this nigga is wilding out. He's doing this, that. Jay be like, that's fine. He gonna get a bunch of them niggas. He gonna have a million. Jay would say, he gonna have a million motherfuckers following him, right? Because niggas like to see train wrecks.
Yeah, and then point out when you, that type shit.
Yeah, and he has a lot of people that'll follow him just to hate, but they're still following and viewing, right? Yeah. So anyway, long story short, it gets to the point where he has a consistent growing, and it's like, and I'm like, damn, he felt something that was accurate, where we were overthinking and like, no, we want to stay away from that.
Right.
And then it gets to the point where, like he said, we lose footage. That shit's mad dated. Everybody might be doing something. We could have some. He would tell me. We'd be sitting, yo, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I said that years ago. Some other niggas would do it. He'd look at me, see, nigga? Should have been put the shit out.
And right,
didn't get it.
Hey, I got a question.
I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. I got a question on that real quick for both Mike and Lex, man, because we all do YouTube stuff collectively. So, like, my thing is, like you're saying, Lex, man, the perfection and all that stuff, kind of going back, man, the reason why it's like that, man, because to be honest, like, you ain't even looking at it like this, but you're a colored boy driving these cars, which are normally reserved, like Mike said, for Asian and white cats. And when I came up to you, Asian and white cats is all they did. And back in Baltimore, you had donks and the Caprices and all that shit. That's what black dudes did. So when I rolled up with the 240, they was like, man, what you doing with the 240? You're a black guy.
We would get that all the time. We pull up to a gas station, niggas would be like, why you in this Chinese car?
Yeah. And then you bust their ass and send them home. But what I'm saying, man, like, as far as footage, would Lex, could you get to the point where you would shoot some shit and then the result will be shitty? You'd be like, nah, not uploading that. And then Mike, on your same, on the flip side, you'd be like, all right, I'm gonna upload this shit to show motherfuckers it didn't go right. Because I know in your vlogs, man, you're pretty open about when shit happens, but there's sometimes that people don't see some shit, and there's like some things like, man, I don't want to post that because, you know what I mean, I might have to go slap this motherfucker if he takes it the wrong way. Or is it like that, or what's up with that?
So here's where I got fucked up.
Right.
Because I even showed Mike years ago. There was this I was like, yo, they're making vlogs. They're doing this and that. I'm going to follow myself and do this and that. It was like 2012 or something. I'm going to do this. This is way back in the day. Because like I had a YouTube channel since 2007 that had videos going
random
5,
shit,
6, 7, 10,000 back in the day. But I didn't know about monetizing stuff. And it was all real street shit. Street racing, street drifting.
You said it 07?
Yeah, back when YouTube first cracked off.
06 is when I got mine. Yeah.
So the thing was, so like when we all watched Gymkhana, when we watched it, some of us that are weird maniacal brain, we'd look at it and be like, look at him skid marks. That nigga did it 3 times.
Yeah.
Me and Jay,
Mr. Ken Block,
it's got to be that one time.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when we do shit, we film it directly, straight up, perfect. It worked, but it didn't have the excitement. Like if Mike would do something and go hard and spin in the middle of the street or do whatever, but when he got it right, and even if he clipped together, the shit had an excitement, like a hype value. I don't know, do you got a new intro or something now, or that's your outro?
My outro.
Yeah. So this Z shit, he was going nuts. That's when we were looking at Mike like, this nigga's insane. Like then that's when I'm looking, I'm like, I'm worried about this nigga, yo, because he's wilding. So he'd be out in the street really going hard, bro. Like, you know, using the full street as it is. Back roads, all of this shit that these new boys is out here really trying to do now, the on-ramp sliding and all of that shit. Mike had been doing that for years, right? So we were all on that hype, but Mike would do it so much more. Like I'd have these on-ramps I hit, but I wouldn't let that motherfucker ring to make smoke. Mike making smoke on him.
Yeah, see, my very first on-ramp that I even attempted was with Lex.
Yep.
Was leaving his house, and it was an on-ramp by his house. He hit it, and I was like, well, shit, I'm going to try it too. Almost went off the freeway, but shit, I tried it. Yeah. And then, you know, after that, I was like, I'm going to get these on-ramps. I'm like, this is still made for stick footage. I'm going to keep practicing. I got nothing but on-ramps in my house. So I was like, I ain't got nothing to lose. Right. Like, I'm going to just keep trying them. So, you know, that's how that even came about. My very first on-ramp was me following behind him, and he did it in front of me.
Yeah.
And so when things started to go wrong, though, like one car goes down, and then another car goes down. And literally, this is how I was like, okay, I always checked on him, even if I didn't, you know, pop up around him. I call him every once in a while and be the old head, nigga, what the fuck are you doing type shit. And I know he'd be on the other phone, yeah, this nigga go again. Like, you know what I'm saying? But the one time he crashed, and I was at work.
I crashed
hard, dog.
Yeah.
I knew it was a hard crash because of what I found. So I'm at work, and I'm driving under this freeway portion. And as I'm driving under the freeway portion, I see far ahead, I say, yo, is that this nigga's side skirt? It's only this nigga car because his car is that color. Then he had the sticker on the shit, and I went and I pulled up and stopped, and I pick up the side skirt. I'm like, damn, this is this nigga's side skirt. Self-tap screws all over the fucking street, right? So for me, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have the archive on this nigga. Set his shit up, take a picture of it. All the self-taps, take a picture of them. And then I leave it and I go. So then I call him. This nigga slam on me. I call him again. This nigga slam on me. I text this nigga. And did I send you the picture?
He sent me a picture of the side skirt talking about, yo, you good? I said, fuck, all the people that could have seen this shit, I'm like, it had to be this whole ass nigga. I'm like, fuck.
So then that nigga called me. I'm like, are you all right?
He said, you all right? I'm like, man, who seen it? Because I always felt like this nigga had eyes everywhere.
Yeah.
Anytime I did something, he knew about it. So I was like, this nigga didn't see me crash. I'm like, he didn't seen it. Somebody just sent him a video or something.
Yeah.
But dude, So where the side skirt was, I'm on the freeway. I'm on a freeway on ramp high. I'm up probably like 30,
40 feet up above
even shit. That's even higher than that. It's a couple
it's
stories.
high, dog.
It's at least about 7 stories up or so.
It's some fucking what's the Daikoko Futo?
No shit.
Thing. So yeah, we can drive under it, and it's freeway is way above us because it's multiple changes.
So yeah, I'm on that, and I had just got done drifting my S13, and I'm on bald tires. I'm on my way to go get new tires because I'm like, these are done. And this fool's always had me like, yo, you gotta have grip when you got power. And I had just got done sliding on some doo-doo ass tires. I'm like, all right, I have my new order literally on my way to go get my new order of tires, man. And I'm sitting there texting. I look down. I'm like, oh shit, I'm only doing 45 on the freeway. I downshift. Freaking, I get in it, boost hits. Fucking, all of a sudden, tires break loose, dude. I go from one end and I just ping pong right into the wall.
Oh.
I hit the wall so hard, dude. To this day, my back tire marks roll up that wall. Like, luckily my car didn't fly off the wall because it was up there. I was so high up on the wall that when I hit it, my side skirt flew over the K-wall.
And
dude.
that's how all of those self-tap screws in the side skirt got down on the surface.
Damn.
So when I looked at it, I could see where the side skirt hit in the dirt. So I was like,
that's some fucking Hollywood shit, man.
No, yeah, that's why I be saying a lot of the shit that we've gotten into, it's like, nah, y'all niggas didn't. No, we really did that.
It was wild.
So I'm like, damn, his shit fell from up there. So I said, that nigga, he should be okay, right? So I go take my fucking truck and I go drive up the way to see. I was like, okay, no cars there. So I'm calling him. And then he called me back. So then I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened? And he tell me, I'm like, damn, okay, well, you good, whatever. Then, all right, how's the car? Car fucked. I'm like, damn, all right. But now, so this is what I say. When he wins, he loses. When he loses, he still wins. So, car fucked up. He had just fucked up his Z before that. Got
two cars within the same month.
Yeah.
Done.
So that's
big like, ass L.
I'm like, this nigga's out of control, bro. I mean, Jay, this nigga's out of control, bro. He like, that nigga crazy, man. Let that nigga keep doing what he doing. He obviously don't find a problem with it, because the other incident he had, we went and saw the skid marks where he started at, where he flew through, where the shit happened. He telling me one thing, and I'm like, I know what happened. But I'm like, I'm just gonna let him keep telling me.
Yeah.
So we were just like, all right. And that's why I was like, I always take pictures, so it's like you cannot tell me what you saying. I'm telling you, I know, but then that's when you got this to replace that.
So when my 240 got messed up, it's like both cars are done. At this point, I'm like, fuck, I'm at square zero. I'm like, I ain't got nothing. One of my boys wanted to buy my fucked up TT car because it had a built motor and stuff, and he wanted it. So I sold him that car I think I sold it to him for $4,000. Crashed. He took it. I told him, don't sell all my aero to one person. That way, somebody can't have my particular car, because at that point is where everything started picking up.
Yeah.
It was like at the peak of it where
style was unique to what he had, so that's why he didn't want.
Nowadays you see a lot of those 300ZXs, like they have, like how my car was before. Like I feel like I pioneered that. No doubt. So I didn't want my aero going to one person, so I had him split up everything. I used that money, and this was like probably the smartest thing I did. I had bought the SC. I had an SC400 previously, but at the time I didn't have the money to fix it, and I was like, man, I want a Supra. I'm like, this is gonna be the closest thing to it. I want something I could drop a JZ in, and I want it to be quick. And since everybody had been waiting for me to fuck up for so long, people were like, oh, that's what you get. It's about time. You fucking crashed. I'm so happy you crashed. You should have died. And at this point,
I be seeing that shit. I be like, nah, yo,
dude. And all that shit did was fueling me, dude. Because I was on a mission. I was like, all right. I'm like, they talking shit. I'm about to bounce back super hard. I picked up my SE. I went and got the JZ swap. I got wheels built for it. Got it painted, wide body, everything within 3 months.
Right.
Like it was like a super quick build. And after that, I had picked up this car, the 300ZX. And I had got that one because I was like, oh, look, y'all was talking shit. Now, fuck y'all. I got another 300ZX. I'm coming back harder. It's about to be faster. And I'm like, my mindset was I'm about to shit on all these niggas that counted me out and hated.
Right.
So once I got the SE, my girl started the YouTube channel for me.
Mm.
My girl's one was like, yo, everybody want to see you build this car. Like, people wanted to see this car go back together because of what happened to the teal one.
Right.
So she made the YouTube channel for me, and I was like, you know what, forget it. They want to see it. I'm just about to make the YouTube channel and start posting this car of everything I do to it. And in between that, I started posting things of the SD300. And the SD started kind of taking off. It started getting more powerful. I started doing ride-alongs and stuff. And at that point, you know, everything just started just taking off like crazy. It was just like freight training with, like, my first year of YouTube, I was already at like almost 100K. My second year, I had hit 200K. I've been doing YouTube maybe consistently for, what, 3 or 4 years now.
Yeah.
And it's just been like
your timing, man, was you know, man, Lex, you know, we talk, man, we bring you up like a lot, man. I'm not sure how much you watch the podcast, but we bring you up a lot in regards to the YouTube stuff and the timing. And we were just talking about the one thing last podcast, which is where like some dudes like they'll be on the team, like say like for LZ, for example, somebody from his camp will make a channel and feel like because they're in LZ videos that their shit's supposed to pop like that. Like I'm on this channel, but like I say, like Witchcom said, man, they fuck with you on LZ's channel and you're cool there, but they ain't really there for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I think a lot of people get that. And it's just like, man, the shit, if it's gonna happen, man, it's gonna happen. You ain't gotta do no raffles, giveaways, all that shit. It's natural, man. You're people can see realness and fakeness, and which that's what I led with in the beginning. People can see that shit and they wanna tune in and watch something real. With all this fake shit, the government, the corona shit, all this shit going on that we can't control. We can control who we subscribe to and who we watch on YouTube. So,
yeah. But see, that's what the cool thing happened with him as far as that timing's concerned. Right. So he's doing a video where his actual dad, because I've known him so long, I've never seen his dad before.
Okay.
Right? He went and got his actual dad. I'm like, oh, that's where this ugly nigga get his look. But he go get his, what's up, baby? What's up, lady? So he go get his dad and give him an actual ride along. So and this is where the transparency, the realness, right?
Right.
His dad talking about shit from their era. Mike like, nah, this is that new old nigga. Like, wow. He's like, oh, this motherfucker fast. So his we know that is like, oh, this ain't what I expected it to be. This motherfucker is actually fast.
Right.
But that got picked up by who, like Auto somebody.
It got picked up by
Auto blog. People. So it started to go to actual big blog sites. Right. So you get those people that follow that. Look at this ghetto ass nigga. You get people that follow that and be like, oh, that's cool. I've been waiting to see JDM content here. So you get this polarizing person from this video, and if you look at other videos, you're like, he doing hood shit. He talk like this. He's unfiltered, right? But then we're all auto enthusiasts. We could relate, right?
Right.
So he started to get that relatable follow. But it was turning into, because, you know, like we spoke before, you can get a kickback from something and it only garners views on that video.
Right.
But he was getting people following him and organically staying on it. Now, he was still working and an ordeal had happened. He ended up losing his job. And
best shit ever.
So he's like, I don't, you know.
Let Mike speak on that, man. So what was that the situation for as far as losing a job? Was that like a catalyst to like I'm gonna go in this shit full bore? Talk about that a little bit, man.
So long story short, I was doing security at Walmart. I was on undercover LP.
Mr. Walton.
And I had been there for years, probably like 5 years or so. I was there for hella long. You know, at the time I was like, ooh, I'm making, you know, $23 an hour, fucking sitting here watching cameras, editing my YouTube videos, basically doing nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like a win-win. I have my benefits and stuff. And a situation that happened where this dude had came in, wasn't cooperating, police was called. And when the police got there, dude had the bat, didn't want to put it down.
Oh
yeah. So he basically got shot by the police. So he gets shot by the police. I'm right there, and I had just had a cousin that had got killed by OPD. like sleep in his car. He had got shot. So, you know, my mindset is I'm looking at things from both sides. I'm like, I already know how people are gonna take this. Yeah. I'm like, they're gonna jump and say, oh, white officer shot black dude at Walmart for no reason, blah blah blah. So I jumped on before it even hit the news. I jumped on my Facebook and on YouTube in the community center. I had posted. I was like, yo, I know people gonna make this seem like. I'm like, I can tell y'all it ain't that. I'm like, dude wasn't cooperating. And when the officer went to reach for the bat to try to, you know, disarm him, whatever. Dude basically put the bat in a swinging position and flinched at the officer. I'm like, he tried to tase him. It didn't work. When the taser wore off, dude basically started walking towards the officer and got shot. And, you know, people were in the video, oh, he shot him 2 times. And they were, why they didn't tackle him? Like, bro, it's one-on-one. It's one officer, one dude with the bat. Let's say he doesn't take him down or whatever. He loses his gun. Dude starts shooting people in the store. Now who's at fault? I was like, either way, it was going to be a lose-lose. I'm like, I want to get in front of this and tell y'all the real side of the story before everybody starts twisting it. Then my job got butthurt that I had made a statement on it. It was like, oh, you leased information from an ongoing investigation and blah, blah, blah. So I went on like a leave for like 2 weeks. And then after that, took a vacation for 1 week. And I just did YouTube full time during that 3 weeks. And I was like, I seen my YouTube check and I was like, nigga.
Yeah.
I'm like, in 3 weeks, I'm like, I've doubled my fucking paycheck.
Right.
And I was like, all right. So when I went back to work, they were like, oh, we gotta, you know, I just want to let you know we gotta let you go. I was like
bye, nigga.
Perfect. I was like, perfect. Fine. And I had told myself, I was like, man, I'm not about to go look for another job, middle of the pandemic. I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, I'm gonna give myself 6 months to see exactly what YouTube has to offer. I'm like, I'm about to put everything in one basket right here and see what I can do for myself.
And to reference that time frame, that's when he bought the Gixxer.
Okay.
So he had just got the bike, and so we were just like, let's start doing shit all times.
Yeah, at that point it was just like full commitment. I didn't care what it was. I'm like, man, everything is content. Whether it's gonna be me falling off this bike for the first time, me putting some fucking hubcaps on the car. I'm like, I didn't care. I'm like, as long as my thing was, if I can get content out and people would still enjoy it while enjoying my character, didn't care what I was doing. I was like, so for my goal for YouTube, it was like, I don't want people to like my cars. I didn't want that. I want people to like me.
Right.
I want it to be the star character, not the cars. You'll see people that have a bunch of views and stuff, and it's like they'll watch the car. They'll watch the videos for that specific car.
Right.
Whereas now I've built such a dope audience in relationship with my followers, man, to where it's like, it doesn't matter if it's my 300ZX, my RX-7, it could be my Vex, my Fox body,
the Trikes, got all that shit, man.
Yeah, whatever car it is, people are fucking with it. It's dope because my thing was, man, like, I wasn't like super close to family. Like, we didn't have like that super close family vibe.
Right.
And when I started, like, that's part of the reason why I gravitated to him. You know, I was like, oh, that's like a big brother. You know, it was like a positive role model. So when people were giving me positive feedback and shit like that, like, oh, you know, we love you, we hope to see you doing good. And I'm sitting there, I'm responding to everybody. I'm like, yo, this is my family away from my family. Like, this is my adopted family right here. So that's why on my stuff, man, I don't choreograph anything I say. Anything I say is like directly what was happening right there. I'm not gonna set up a front to be like, all right, we're gonna do this, act like this happened. Like, nah, everything's organic. Like, if something goes wrong, it goes wrong. I tell them about it. That way, when people are building cars and stuff, they don't think all this shit just goes smooth. Like, oh, I built the engine, we put the harness in, we did this, we took it straight to the dyno, and everything worked. Like, in the real world, that shit doesn't go like that, man. But a lot of people cookie cutter with it, and they don't tell people the ins and outs. They don't tell people, oh, my shit blew up. They're like, oh no, we're gonna fix it real quick, not tell nobody, and get it back together.
Right. Yeah, that's the real shit right there, man. That's actually why it is weird, man. That's why my shit don't do good, because I actually don't like. I'm very meticulous when I build shit, and like, honestly, when I do a full build, when I start it up, nothing leaks, and it's like, I can make that shit happen. I can leave a banjo bolt loose or whatever and do whatever, man. So like, I'm also running a business, so it's a little bit different. So I mean, for me to make money, I you know, if I have everything starting up and leaking and blowing up, I want to get customers and shit, man. So, but it's on my own builds and stuff like you mentioned, man. People do that, and you can see right through that shit. And that's why how even the motherfuckers on Netflix and all these what's the reality shows, the Russ the Riches and all those guys, those cars are not even the same fucking cars they start with, and people think that's their. I'm like, dude, they already had that bitch built, and then they fucking did this thing or whatever, and then bought the other one in, and that's the finished product. Yeah. That shit's all Hollywood, man.
Yeah, shit'll be halfway apart. Oh man, we only got 48 hours.
Fuck out of
here.
Me
you did all this shit painted.
Nah,
like,
fuck no.
Out of here.
Fuck no, bro. We know.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was taking off the turbo on here to get to the breather. I'm like, all right, cool. It's gonna be. I'm gonna get this off in about an hour. Next thing you know, some shit come up. I'm like, fuck, here I am 4 hours later, wasting my day. So then, things don't go always as planned. But in my eyes, like I used to tell him, I'm like, dude, everything is content, man. Yeah. And a lot of people mess up where they're like, oh, I want to finish this first, and then I'm gonna start my channel or whatever. It's like, no, people want to be able to build a relationship with something, and that's what I learned. Right. It's cooler to see something going together coming from nothing than it is to be like, all right, here I am with a fully finished product. And it's like, all right, how did you get here? So, for my thing is like, like this car, I picked this up as a shell. Like this shit was like nothing. And a lot of people think like, oh, he don't work on cars. Like now, luckily, I make enough money to where I can be like, yo, take this shit to the shop, you deal with it. Yeah. I don't want to see it, But with the 300ZX, that was like, the car, I was like, I'm putting this car together. I put this car together in my granny's driveway with literally minimum tools, like Harbor Freight shit.
Hand tools.
Yeah, literally, like, there's no impacts, none of that. Even to this day, I still don't have a freaking impact.
Which is weird to me. I tell this nigga grow up all the time.
I'm from, man, it's because it goes back to where I was at Performance Options. That dude, Joey, he would literally be like, look at all data, figure it out, don't come ask me nothing until you really can't figure it out.
Right.
And everything for them was like, if I'm looking at all data, all this shit is like 2 torque spec.
Gotcha.
So I'm torquing everything. Things that I probably didn't even need to be torqued. I'm like, all right, this should say 15 pounds. All right, this is 38 pounds. So for me, I'm so used to using hand tools and just tightening everything by hand tool. Right. I don't want shit over torqued with. I didn't blast this on now. Now it's on there.
Yeah. And
speaking if I can physically go over something by hand, I know it's tight.
Yeah, no doubt. Speaking on that, man, too, like, with the recent situation, like you mentioned earlier, putting 2 and 2 together, man, with the, like you had posted, everybody was already seen it, man, with the situation with the 2J and all that stuff, and the dude who went through it and everything. And I actually, because I'm always in the shop, and I seen the post, and that shit was running away, and I just commented doing it. I didn't actually realize to the next day it was your shit. Because I missed the vlog, and then I looked back, I'm like, oh, fuck, this thing got this shit on Instagram going like a fucking blotter and shit, and everybody's putting their comments in.
Mike has a history of when shit don't finish Mike's shit. I don't want him talking shit or putting me on blast.
Right.
But this was needed, especially after you've given the opportunities.
So I've never had to put anybody on blast that right or wrongs. Like a lot of people don't know that my LS3 that's in my 350Z, it blew up.
Yeah.
My brand new LS3 that was in my 350Z, it blew up. But the shop made it right. They, I had already wanted to do a build LS3. And I told them, like, well, y'all blew it up. Y'all pay for the machine work. I'll pay for the parts because I already wanted to build LS3.
Right.
But they were going to rebuild it to stock. So as long as somebody's willing to right their wrong, I'm cool with that. I'm not gonna step on you and down you when you're trying to make right. But with that situation with the 2J dude, I had the first 2J he had built me one previously, and he wanted to use ARP 2000 rod bolts, and I'm like, yeah, maybe we should do the 625s, I'm like, cause I beat on this car and I don't want to have to take it apart again, and him being the builder thinking like, oh, I'm building his motor so he don't know nothing about it. Oh, I built plenty of 1,000 horsepower 2Js and blah blah blah. Trust me, you're gonna be good. You gotta have faith. I'm your builder. Here we go. Almost a year into this motor, it gets rod knock. What happens? Rod bolt stretches. And I told him, like, see, if we would have the 625s in, this shit wouldn't have happened.
And that's where people get it fucked up. Because just because we don't wrench on our cars, it's not like we don't know about it. So Mike wrenches on his car, and he spends enough time in his phone looking up shit. He really be looking up a ton of shit. I remember back then he be coming with weird, odd ass Snapple facts like, nigga, who fucking cares? But he looks a lot of shit up. So he does enough to know what needs to be done, and he could probably do it himself. He just doesn't do it. I still get on him now. Like, why don't you just? He be like, nigga, I ain't touching it because this nigga can do it.
And the reason why I brought it up to you, Mike, is that I when I comment on it, I just thought it was man, I see like random shit all the time, and my comment is like, I know exactly what I say because this is what I preach to my customers. Like, if they don't start with an inspection, so I didn't know the situation, and I was like, man, I hope they don't think I'm fucking talking sideways because I just didn't know it was you, and plus I didn't know the situation. I'm the guy when I comment. I'm pretty sure Lex is like this too. I don't go back into the first comment. I comment. I'll see the first.
Say what the fuck I just seen.
I'll see the 3 above that. Like, all right, this is what we talking about. Like the shit Ryan has posted the other day about the dude throwing a block
Diesel nigga.
Yeah, and I didn't know. I never knew. I never heard of this guy. He got 3.2 million subscribers. I never heard of him. And I put on there, that's some fuckboy shit. And then everybody else started coming back and saying shit. I'm like, dude, I just don't feel like. I don't think Mike's gonna fucking pick up the LS and throw it on his hood of his car to make. You know what I mean? That's just we're different people. You know what I'm saying? That's just.
For my shit, man. You know, you have a lot of people that do YouTube and they'll build a car next, the car sold, the car did a giveaway or some shit. Right. I'm a real car enthusiast.
The raffle shit, man.
Yeah, I collect anything I buy is because I want to keep. I want to collect it. I'm fucking 8 built cars in with 2 NA cars only.
Right.
So
my God, that annoys me.
Then he be leave that shit alone. I be either
drive something, nigga.
Supercharged turbo, everything.
Have some fun. Stop building, more driving. I be on this nigga. But again. I'm missing the mark on certain things. People come to channels to watch what he builds and creates.
Right.
He can drive at any time. He can, you know what I'm saying? We could just go rent the track and go do work. But people are interested. He drives every once in a while. Break it. But
everything is a daily.
Yeah. But it's like this guy got to the point where he's daily driving countless supercharged E85 fed fucking. It's like, bruh, what? Like, I've been pleading with him to keep this around 400 horsepower to have some fun. What's he doing now?
He done turned it up.
What's he doing now? But I get it. I just want him because I know his core is a driver. He wants to be a driver, but when you look in front of the house, everything's built. And it's like, it's from the creation of what he thinks in his head as a...
It's art, man.
Yeah,
it's art. It's literally art. Like, back in the day, drifting was, like, all about style, man. It was... You didn't see too many cars that looked the same.
Right.
And that's why now, when I'm building something, whether it's an American car, one of my JDM cars or whatever, it's like, I want it to stand out. It's like, right now, it is impossible to have a conversation about a SE without my SE being mentioned. It's like, I feel like the SE is kind of like one of like my lane, which is dope because it's like, I'm so known for that car. So, when I'm building something, it's like, I want that for everything that I build. I want everything that I build to be like, yo, that's Mike's car. Or somebody's talking about 300ZX. Oh, you see Mike Z? Like, shit like that is what fuels me. It makes me feel like, yo, like, me spending all this time sitting here trying to figure out this stuff, or me coming up with this idea, or me trying to build this car on this game or whatever, you feel like it actually comes to reality when you start seeing it come together. And when people appreciate it, you're like, yo, that's dope. Like, regardless, I build everything for myself, but everybody in the world loves a pat on the ass for some shit that they spend a whole bunch of time and effort on. You don't want to put hella time into some stuff and people be like, that shit's trash.
Yeah.
Or whatever. You'll get to a mindset, you're like, well, fuck them. If you know your shit's dope, it's dope. But, to have the majority of people be like, yo, we love your car, and you motivate us to do, build a 300ZX, build an SE or whatever, that's just like priceless to me.
Yeah.
To always have a car that people are like striving to build, because at one point I remember being that. If I wouldn't have rode in Xander's car or seen Xander's 240, I wouldn't have been like, yo, I want to build a 240. Like, when I built my 240, dude, my mindset was, I want my 240 to be faster than his. When I got my SR, I didn't even put a stock SR in my car. It went straight to getting built. I was like, I want more than his 320 horsepower SR. I'm like, I want more. I'm like, I want my shit wider. I want the wheels crazier. And when it was all said and done in 2014, I had a friggin' 500 horsepower SR.
With Flanders.
it was wide. It was like
with Flanders.
Hey, before Origin Type 3 came out, I had already built it, dude.
Flanders. He had flares on fenders. He had flares.
It was all molded in. It was
he
like
had the wide boy.
They couldn't say nothing though. It looked good. It was painted. It was on real wheels. It had 500 horsepower, and it was like the car I was daily driving, man. And and that's what I get on him about. I'm like, dude, you need to drive your car on the street more. You gotta drive it on the street more.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing to have a car that makes a lot of power and looks good in pictures. But if I can't jump in my car and go to like SoCal or whatever, which is like 7 hours away, then it's not built right.
Yeah. And that's what I've done, and that's why he tells me to drive my car, because I used to do that with my RX-7. I've drove my RX-7 just how it is to LA a couple times. Beat on it all day, all weekend at Top Drift. What was that? The All-Star Bash that they used to do, and drove it back. And I used to drive it all the time, but then I was locked in.
He had, when his car, well, it's always been white, but when he had those orange RPF ones on there, one day we on the freeway going over a bridge, I'm looking over, this fool doing like 130, we approaching 140, a turn coming, I'm like, nigga, hold on, bro. Bro, I'm sitting there, when you in a car, you start pulling, I'm like, all right, we pulling. Yeah. I'm like, nigga, this nigga in fifth gear. I'm looking over like shit. I'm looking forward. The road starting to turn. I'm like, all right, this nigga just went on some kamikaze, about to kill both of us. Yeah. And that was the first time I actually, felt the car like gripping and hugging the road. I'm like, yo, this is dope. Yeah. So you put this much faith in your car. I mean, I'd rather not be in the car with you having that much faith in your shit. Yeah. But I'm like, we didn't die, so. I just miss when a nigga used to drive his shit to meets and stuff.
Yeah.
It was dope. And anytime the car came out, I was nigga cheerleader. Hey, you got a passenger? What's up?
Yeah. Like, so like with that, man, because like you always hear, man. I mean, me being in Japan, and you always hear like Cali is like as far as like regulations on emissions and stuff like that, man. And then you both having YouTubes and stuff like that. Like what
he about to tell you?
Yeah. So what's
emissions? We do what we want.
That's what I'm saying, man. How do you circumnavigate the
ways.
Yeah. No, I'm not don't give out no secrets. I know. Yeah.
All I'm gonna say, while we live is all my cars pass smog. They're 100% within California standards with emissions and all that.
You see
good to go. Good to go.
Roll down on me. This car ain't legal. Yes.
Hey, we gotta get that dude on the podcast too, man. Like I said,
we gotta
get that cop on there, man.
This car ain't legal. Yes, it is, sir.
Yeah, and you were calling shit. You was like, yeah, it is.
Man, there's always ways around stuff, man. Just like quote guns are illegal, but yet you can still get them in.
Yeah.
You can anytime there's money involved, you can always pay somebody to do some shit to.
But our cars actually pass smog.
Yeah, but my shit's legal.
Yeah, the dudes who are watching and listening, they definitely got legal cars and everything, man. So don't be in their inboxes.
It's tough, right? So there's people that do it, and but then when they're on the roads, they're doing too much with the car.
Right.
So how California is, the cop can look and be like, this shit ain't legal. He chilling, right? So I'm gonna let him be.
Yeah. And that's how it is. Like I've been pulled over probably anytime I've got pulled over is because I was doing some bullshit.
Right.
For the most part. I didn't got pulled over a couple times on some you black, what you doing over here type shit, but for the most part I was always, doing some shit. Like last time I got pulled, lucky for me though, I got pulled over in the C6 last time. I'm getting on the freeway merging, it's an 18-wheeler in front of me. I go around them, I'm doing third gear pull. Next on the other side of the 18-wheeler is a cop. But I'm already doing like 120, so I hit the brake, he get behind me, he pulled me over. He's like, get out the car. I'm like, fuck. Like, this dude told me to get out the car. He about to billy club my ass. So I get out the car. He flagged me over. I'm like, all right, this ain't the normal shit. I'm like, I walk over to him and he's just like, Mike, what the fuck you doing?
Shit.
I'm like, he like, man, he's like, slow it down a little bit, be safe. And he let me go. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But anytime I've got pulled over, it's because I was either speeding or doing some dumb shit.
Yeah.
Usually, like I didn't have the police behind me in this car. It's caged, it's lowered. It fucking smells like E85. It makes all kind of spoolie sounds and stuff. But he followed me for like damn near 20 minutes. You know, we just so happen to be going the same way. He followed me. I didn't get pulled over. I drive my FD. That shit shooting flames and stuff. CHP giving thumbs up. You know, and you in the FD, you decel, you like fuck, don't do nothing. Next thing you know, poof, 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 like fuck.
Yeah.
See the police officer looking at me, I'm like, damn, it's over. And they're like, you know, so I think a lot of it goes back to if you kind of minding your own business, being respectful, chilling, they ain't gonna fuck with you. Like a lot of people might think that I jump in these cars and I'm just flying down the freeway all the time. Like, nah, I might do that in the video or something and you know, get the footage, but if I'm going from A to B, for the most part, I might let it spool up a little bit for my own pleasures to hear it. But other than that, I'm chilling.
So safe to say, like, so you're not getting like any because I mean, it seems like the cops. I mean, it seems like everybody generally in that area from the YouTube and everything know who you are, man. Like, you're not getting any letters in the mail and cease and desist type of shit.
No, I pay my taxes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the reason I asked that, man, because I remember because Lex, Lex and again, man, shit, about 8 months ago, Lex, we had Shamar on, like, doing about Willys and everything, and I got like 9 bikes now and shit. I didn't have no bikes 8 months ago. No bikes. Now I got fucking 9 bikes, and I don't know, man. I'm working on some other shit right now to make it a business and everything, man. So I heard like the dirt bike guys are getting like, they get like the BRAP was getting letters, right, Lex? But
here's why that happens.
Right.
So it's just like how now California has exhaust and tune law. So they're gonna get to the point where they're gonna be plugging up to your shit to see if your ECU is stock parameters. The exhaust, we already had it. The reason why that happens,
OBD1, baby.
I know, right? But the reason why that happens is because what goes up and goes viral on Instagram. A lot of revving, flames, the pop, all of that shit, and now they know where it is, know what it comes from. So this spectacle is going viral. We're gonna make an example of it when we see it, when we need to. Same as the dirt bikes. The dirt bike shit been going on in Baltimore since the 80s, right?
Problem now is just everything's been video and recorded.
You see what Shamar was saying? Nigga, I always do everything. I just don't let people feel me.
Exactly.
So when the shit hits the internet and becomes a huge sensation, and it's an optical illusion. It's not an illusion, but it's an optical illusion to you when you look at that video and see the kids riding the dirt bikes past the cops on some fuck you cop type shit. We own the streets. We the vibe. The regular pedestrian that don't understand it, oh my God, they're lawless and the cops can't do anything.
Right.
You get maybe 10 motherfuckers write a letter to City Hall. We got 10 people writing a letter to City Hall. That means 1 million people, you know what I'm saying? Because they go by the ratio, the numbers. It's like, if 10 people sent it, that means 1 million people are offended by it. Now, then that's when they're like, okay, well, we got to go crack butts now.
Right.
But it's like that with the cars. So when we have these dudes, like where he had a guy on the freeway putting the VQ on the rev limiter for 30 miles.
Hella long. Just I'm like, bruh, go away.
Right.
Why are you following us?
Now imagine all the cars that they passed. Mike's not speeding. California is naturally an 80 mile an hour speed.
Right.
We go 80 everywhere. I don't care what the posted limit is. The cops don't give a fuck that you're doing 80. We do 80. So he's doing 80. This Z is sounding like he's trying to send valves to the moon and everything. But as Mike's car goes by, a car, regular Stacy, Karen, and Adam, right? Mike's car sounds a certain way. This Z goes on the other side. To them,
well, he's trying to get your attention or some shit.
I don't know what, bro. I was like, I'm in the car with my granny. We in the vet. We just left church, so we chilling. It's raining. I'm like, why are you sitting here revving? You speeding up, slowing down? Like, bro, it's raining. I mean, granted, you got 300 horsepower, maybe. I don't. I'm not about to risk my life trying to do a pull on the freeway and fuck around and start spinning, I'm like, I know this car ain't gonna hook in the rain. It defeats the purpose of me even doing anything. So we literally it had to be at least, it was all the way from Pinole to Vallejo.
17 miles easy.
This dude just revving.
Well, no, not 17. Like 10 miles at least. It was a long time.
It was a good 15 minutes or so, him just don. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
So all the cars that they just went by, this is an actual Need for Speed race. You know what I'm saying? They're doing 60 over here. This nigga's on the rev limiter sounding like gunshots. This black vet's over here going 80. It looks like a race. Some old lady could be calling 911. Oh my God, these cars are doing this and that. And he's chilling with his grandmother. This nigga's being a weirdo. Those are the kind of things that make laws happen or make cops enforce something that's on the books. Because we've had shit on the books for ages. We've had the being too low. If your headlights ain't above this many inches,
22 inches,
24 inch, 22, 24, you get fucking blipped.
Right.
But we roll around with our shit on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I've always used my flip up headlights as the not nigga look peak. But it's just like, but we have that. They don't say nothing until somebody riding around static and they making sparks everywhere, or they're knocking lane markers off the freeway.
So it seemed like in a nutshell, man. Like it is again. I never been to Cali. Outside of I never been through there, man.
We baby Japan, to keep it honest.
Yeah, it just seemed it just seemed like guys like they don't know how to move, and then like that's the dudes they don't know how to move and coming online like, oh, it's Naziville and this and this, and the guys who are
because they're fucking geeks, yo.
Right.
I feel like a lot of the problems with California is people can't afford to live out here, so they complain about everything that's out here.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it's fucking beautiful. All you gotta deal with is an earthquake every maybe 40 years or so. You ain't got no hurricanes, no tornadoes, no tsunamis.
I see your video, man. I'm like, man, this look like dude. I can say if I ever had to leave
the
Japan,
weather's always nice out here.
Yeah.
Like in the Bay Area, weather's always nice.
Yeah. If I had to leave Japan, I'd definitely come there, man.
People complain too much about shit that don't affect them, right? Niggas be complaining about exhaust. It's like, so what, nigga? Like, when was the last time you got pulled over for an exhaust ticket? Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the law's on the books. Yeah, they say it. You do what you want, though. Just be chilling. This one nigga, he got a Mustang and some shit with an exhaust and a tune. Oh, I'm leaving California. They're cracking down on fuel. I want my modified car. Your car's not really that modified.
Yeah.
But you do too much.
Right.
Which is why you get pulled over for speeding and all of the extra shit, right?
Yeah.
We over here been riding 400 plus horsepower cars for decades, and police niggas.
Dude, I daily drove my SE around at 900 horsepower for hella long, and the only time I got pulled over is because I was doing a fucking pull with this female in the car. Tires broke loose. He pulled me over and was like, is there any reason why your car will be breaking traction going down the highway? I was just like, shit, it's a 900 horsepower car. Pop my hood, I got state ref, whatever, but it's like, whatever, you pay the fucking ticket.
Right.
Out of all the years I've, been driving, people like make the state ref thing such a big deal. It's like, oh my God, I got state ref. Like, bruh, pay the $1,000 and keep on moving.
And it just comes down to dudes want to be in the game, but they don't want what comes with being in the game, and that's just like if you street race. I mean, we all did it. We all street race. We all did what we did, man. And it's like we knew. I got 4 points in Maryland, 5 points, like 5 or 6 points. 6 points you lose your license. 5 points I had to go to I don't know if you guys do it in Cali, but I had to go to 2 remedial driving courses. You go there. You don't drive. You watch a bunch of videos of motherfuckers crashing. Yeah, and that shit takes like fucking it's like 12 hours, man. And you gotta do that shit, or you do that, or you lose your license. So of course we're gonna go fucking sit in the class. And
when I was 16, I got my license. 3 months, my license was revoked, and it was suspended until I was 21. Yeah, because I thought I haven't changed how I drive, right? But I was doing video game shit in real life, and I was getting caught doing it. Yeah. So as I got older,
you learned to run.
Yeah. So I would either learn to run but still, I was still driving on suspended license, right? So I drove on suspended license from 16 to 2021. And it wasn't like I stopped driving. I was driving everywhere. I just understood this is the time frame that I'm going to drive at. This is the way I'm going to drive. This is the element I'm going to drive in. And I was still driving modified cars, too. So it was just like you had to learn the tact of having fun when you can, being, it's like the balance, the give or take, right? Same thing with the bikes. The only time I ever got pulled over, got my bike took, was.
So you gonna pull over on the bike?
No. But I'm saying only time.
Lex been all political correct. Yeah.
I know damn well he ain't pulled over on no bike.
But I got pulled over this one time. It was like 115 degrees out here, and the exhaust was in the middle of the mufflers in the middle of my ankles. And I could feel it. Like my feet were on fire. I'm like, this is agony. We were way out in Tracy, and I'm coming home, and I'm like, damn, dog. At 70 miles an hour, it was enough to bear, right? 75 is like, woo. 80 was like, Lord God, no. Like, my feet are on fire, right?
Yeah.
Cop rolled up on us. All my boys is looking. They know what time it is. Like, what's shaking? We on the move. We waiting for you to do something. I'm like, y'all go. They went. I didn't. And because I don't ride with license plates, he pulled me over. That's just the skin in the game. And then it's like, oh, nigga, you ain't got no license. Half the motorcyclists in California don't have license.
I ain't have no license when I was riding.
Yeah, my dad been riding for 30, 40 years. He don't got no license. It's just, that's what we do. We buy bikes. We do what the fuck we want in Cali. But then when you get pulled over, okay, I got to deal with it. So the nigga took my bike. So I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm never stopping again, but I am going to go get my license. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a balance. It's a give or take.
I had my bike for all of a week before the Lex got me in my first high speed.
So how was that as far as
Trash.
Yeah.
Trash. I'm like, man, I barely know how to turn. I'm like, here we go.
Oh man.
Shit, man.
They slow down. They like, go.
Yeah.
Hey, so overall, man, what I'm gathering, man, from this whole thing, man, is Lex is like a bad influence, man, because you be getting used to some shit.
I'm the bad, good influence.
Yeah.
He the bad good influence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I get into I do real shit, but it's like he's saying, when we were wilding out, acting up, we came past the police. We're like, oh, they're about to get on us. Me and my boy told him and Aaron, go. And then we blocked the cops, let them get out and start getting through the gears. We said, all right, they're getting through the gears. And me and him looked and we broke. Break. Whoop. We went this way. The cop like, but we made sure they, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we, you know, yeah, we live how we want to live. That's what the dope thing is about it. And this is what Mike always gets on me about my YouTube. Because like I told you, when I started my YouTube, I was trying to be instructional and
Bill Nye the Science Guy head ass nigga. I'm like, bro, I was watching shit like, nigga, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, hey, you did this.
He didn't come on here, hey, what's going on, God? Like, like, what are you doing?
Oh, man.
Like, you, nigga.
Yeah, so it's like, because I know you put up one video recently, then you were in a, it was more, it wasn't your normal flow, like it's recent video, and you were like, it was really informative, and like you like, and I could tell you like, man, this ain't the normal shit I normally do, man. I'd be like, you know, this and this, and you were like kicking knowledge, and people was like, nah, man, it was a good video, man. It was informative, blah blah blah. So I catch myself, and I you know, I'll do a video, and I find I'm like, dude, I'm not. Nobody's here to fucking learn shit. You know what I mean? They want to see shit.
This is what he told me.
And I'm like, man, you got this guy. You start like talking like, you know, well, you know, the circumference of this and the blah. I'm like, man, nobody wants to.
Well, that's what the funny thing is. He's like, nigga, what's up with the science? So if I catch myself when I be in the blog and you hear me say, you know what, that's science.
It's like, science. Yeah.
Hey, he would like when we're building my bike.
Yeah.
We be talking, we be putting it together and shit, and he'll be saying something about the bike, like, yeah, this year, next year, they'll be like, this year, blah, 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 it was a pinnacle year, the motherfucking blah, 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 had the cross-plane motors, it won X amount of competitions, then it got
like top gear,
like,
man.
Yeah, 15 minutes in, I'm like, cut.
Yeah.
So Mike has made me, it's in my mind now, when I make shit, I'll be like, even if I fuck up or stumble over, man, fuck it. This is what the flow is. This is what the flow is, and it's cool. And so I'm getting out of the technical shit, and I'm just trying to have some fun. And
man, my very, very first video that I ever even attempted to edit was because this fool showed me how to use iMovie. He got the iPhone, was like, oh, look, he got iMovie on the phone, whatever. He was like, look, we can edit shit on the phone. I'm like, oh, that's tight. I'm going to get one. So I went and got a little iPhone, and me and him would be sending little edits back and forth. Yeah. This is when Instagram only lets you do 15 minutes.
Right,
so
right.
Was like,
trying to pack the
stuff in the Instagram videos.
Yeah.
But that was just something that we like to do. It wasn't the thing.
That is the thing. We've always loved to create dope shit, and
I like to have the memories of stuff. Like working on the track, I wanted to get as many dope views as I could, put a video together.
He's a B-roll king.
And be like, yo, like,
I don't be thinking about that kind of shit. Yeah.
Dude, it was just if we're at the track, we get this day done, what other way do we have to remember it by other than the shit that happened? But if we got a video together, here we go, right here. This is our, like, families these days. I always tell people, for me, YouTube is an online portfolio of the things that I'm doing and the things that I'm building. It's my life. Like, I put my grandma on my videos a lot because if something was to happen to her,
respect to that. Yeah.
I can go look at an old video that I did, see my grandma on there, hear her voice. Yeah, I can see all that. Like nowadays, families don't have a photo book no more. Like, and I learned that the hard way, man. When my other Instagram got deleted at almost 150K, I'm like, damn, all those pictures from when I first started building my S13, when I first started building my Z, when I first got my SE, I'm like, all that shit is gone.
Yeah, because the cloud shit wasn't around too. Yeah.
Straight fuckery, but it's for me it's an online portfolio. I've always loved editing. I never looked at YouTube as like I'm gonna do YouTube because I want to make some money. I never looked at it that way. All the way until damn near I was almost at 50K, I didn't even monetize my YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was telling this nigga like, yo, the view time. You get the view time, look into it.
Dude, I was like 40-some thousand hours like over it. Like I could have monetized my YouTube a long time ago before I did, but I was just like so. I had the mindset, I'm like, if I monetize it, I can't cuss, I can't say this, I can't be me. So I was like, fuck YouTube. I'm like, if people are rocking with it and they watching, I'm like, that's cool enough for me. I don't need to get paid. I'm like, I'm not here for it. I'm here to put up my shit and vibe with people. But, for me, after I got that first check, I was like, nigga, shit. I need to monetize everything.
Yeah.
That's why in certain videos when I'm in it, I try my hardest to cuss wildly in the videos to make them go edit.
Yeah, I got it, man. When you edit it, bro, to sit there and fine tune that little cut, like,
because it's the first 10 minutes, right?
No, it's the hard cuss words and
it's like
the amount of them, how it is.
Because you can say shit, fuck, and stuff like that if it's like kind of like spaced out.
Right.
But he'll be like, goddamn nigga, fuck.
Yeah, and I do when he's saying something, so it's hard to cut it off. So it's like, motherfucker, black ass nigga, fuck me. Yeah. Like I do this shit like that.
This whole segment would be like,
man. Yeah, YouTube is so crazy now, man. With the we talk about social media a lot, and it's like, man, like the timing that you got in it was good. And also what the YouTube did, and I was like, I got my business shit going here in Japan, pretty successful, whatever. And I was like, well, the YouTube shit changed, and it did change, but the tools are out there. So like they make you have to use them to get the cash because they don't want to give out. They create the little kid. What's the little fucking kid that does the toy unveils? The little
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan. And then they just and the other little the dude in Cali who drives he's a kid channel, but he drives the Peppy or whatever the fuck his name is, man. The dude's like, using the kid shit and then buying cars and then brings a Lamborghini to the kid shit, and they're like, this is a blue Lamborghini, yeah. And like I'm like, you can't hate on the dude though because he's doing it. And so the shit's out there, but YouTube is like they making it where as though they got it's separations now and shit, and you just gotta play the game, man, because they gotta. It's a business too, man. In a nutshell, when it comes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. If YouTube wasn't making money, they wouldn't be paying you.
Yeah, it's a business, man. So they you kind of got in on the good part, and I didn't start really working on my channel until 2015, and then it went from like 2,000 up to like 7,000, and I was like, fuck, and I was like, all that time I was just uploading random shit. So it's the guys are there who's salty about your progress or your come up and everything, man. Fuck them, to be honest, because it's like you putting in the time and they don't realize the editing, all that stuff, the money you spend to go out and do that shit, and the tickets you're probably gonna get and whatever else that comes along with it. Dudes just sit back and they want to hate on shit, and I'm like, So that's what I'm saying in the beginning, man. much props for doing you and doing what you gotta do. And then like I say, Lex, on the flip side, like you mentioned too, and like I mean honestly, being real about it, he was like, hey man, I'm in Mike's videos, but it don't correlate or transfer over. It's like, hey man, because like you're like we mentioned too, Mike. The reason why Lex is free flowing in your shit because he ain't got to edit that shit. He show up and say what he got to say and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man, and it's cool.
But it's like, but that's what I was meaning by that as well, because see, when I'm in Mike's videos,
right.
He's more of himself.
Yeah, and it's literally it's not like how a lot of YouTubers, I'm gonna go hang around him because he's popular.
Right.
I really drop by on some, what y'all into type shit, or I'm dropping something off or whatever.
I told him, I'm like, dude, we need to do more videos together, bro.
Yeah.
Like, let's get I be telling him, like, start being you. Let's do more videos together. Let's get your shit cracking. Like, I'd rather my whole circle be good. I be telling this nigga all the time, let's do something. His ass idea doing something, nigga, come to this track day with me.
Yeah.
Because I be trying to, like, I be so.
He be talking about bring, man, just that's cool and all, but need to bring that thing to the track.
Got that Black Jeremy Clarkson and shit, man.
He want me to bring my FD to the track for the first time. Like, then after the video, we're dude hit him. I'm like, hell nah.
Yeah.
I'm about to send my FD to the grandstand. That's out.
The funny shit though is, like, man, it's so a lot of stuff especially like when we're filming, like the motorcycle day. There's a video of the vlog for the day when we were just chilling and I'm sitting here putting my boots on and this nigga really like run the camera in my face like, scorpion suit wearing ass, like that shit. And a lot of vloggers, a lot of people, that shit is staged.
Right.
That's not how he and I are. The shit that's really
organic.
Yeah, that's really what the shit is. Like that same video, it was a high and a low. We pull up on a nigga that's dying, right? And then everybody's standing around the nigga with no clue. I'm like, y'all get out the way. Move them fucking cars out the way so EMS can come help him. Mike, get his legs and do this or that. Bitch, quit crying. Call 911. Like, let's save this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're really in the mix. All these idiots are standing around a nigga bleeding out his nose, his mouth, bleeding his head, and they don't know what to do. And two random niggas on bikes just pull up. Because I looked at him, I said, yo, turn around, nigga. This nigga look like he out the game. We turn around and come back and like get order and confusion, but that's real shit. But that it's not like, oh hey, let's go do something good for the people and catch it on video.
Right.
Shit, I even on the video, I was like, oh shit, my GoPro's recording. I cut out a lot of it.
Yeah, I cut my
I was like, hey, come on, because I was telling him like, hey, my GoPro's recording. I'm like, cut the GoPro off. Like we cut a whole bunch of it out.
Right.
I had just went in a fucking bush.
Just fell, yeah.
I had just crashed my bike into a bush. And now I'm timid as shit. I'm riding back slow, like, nah, I ain't.
But the shit is real, right? Like, I'm sure, but we never, like, niggas don't film that type of shit. Like, if you rolled up on somebody and gave somebody some bread. Like, all that shit that
man.
be doing, that staged, like, those aren't the type of things that we do, but we're really good people, right? And then also when we're vibing, like there's this one video where I just took Aaron, his homeboy's car way up somewhere in the sack.
Which one?
Video,
black or white Aaron? Man?
Black Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole video, I'm just talking to him like, yo, so how was that experience in jail? Like, but this is a real conversation, and I was kind of like, the camera was running. I was like, I don't want to film this because this is an actual real conversation. And then he is going to start a channel, and this is a story that he needs to tell on his. So I was cutting out a lot of it, but that whole 2-3 hour ride, he telling me like, blood, when I was in jail and I started seeing Mike was hanging with you and y'all niggas was having hella fun, nigga, and I'm in jail looking like, woo. And I'm like, damn, yeah. I get that where you're like, damn, when I get out, I'm gonna get with the homies and get it cracking.
And that was the same partner I was telling y'all about that. Yeah. When everything had happened, he was the one who didn't call me to go with him. To
Right.
So that's the same homie.
Yeah.
So when you see that, when Mike's putting the circle on, this is a real thing. It's a real fucked with organic circle, right? It's the interactions are real. The jokes, so I brought my old head Bulo on. You see Bulo every chance he get trying to clown. Like that's just really, how niggas are. So it's very authentic. So that's why this nigga get mad at me for being contrived or more toned down on my shit. Because if I'm really, if we're really doing what we do, shit be flying.
Yeah.
And I told him, like, man, like, you have everything you need. You have the character, you have the vibe to have a successful YouTube channel. It's like you have it. But when you get on here and I see that it ain't, I don't feel like it's you. It's like, because when he first made his channel, he was telling me, like, yeah, I'm going to do the thing with the kids. It's going to be a little kids channel. I was like, fuck them kids. Fuck them kids. For real. If you go on my YouTube channel, my shit is 18 and older. I'm not marketing to no kids. Nothing. I make adult content and we have fun. I don't want to be responsible for nobody's kid doing nothing. If you 16 and you watch my channel, then cool. It's all love. But I'm not out here trying to gather that kid audience for the bag. I'm like, nah. So when I see him doing the family channel thing, I'm like, nigga, no. Be you. Ain't none of this proper white collar. Like, be the nigga.
And the funny thing is, when my son be on FaceTime or in these group chats with his friends, and I be, you black ass nigga, like, they be like, yo, who is that? He be like, yo, my dad. Like, that ain't your fucking dad, yo. I be like, what the fuck you talking about, little nigga? Like, and then he turn the camera. They be like, yo, that's really your dad? But when I started the channel, he was 6 or 9 or something. And I wanted him to show what we did on the weekends. And I didn't want kids to be like, yo, what filthy foul-mouthed heathen are you looking at? And that's my friend's daddy, you know what I mean? But it's just like, all right, let me change not change it, but
he basically said, fuck them kids.
Yeah, fuck them kids. But it's like, it's, it's,
he trying to do stuff for the kids, knowing damn well these kids nowadays cuss more than his son being there on the phone for hours. Like, man, let me see them titties, girl.
No, he don't, but he do.
It's like, that's my little baby.
Definitely be on there sexting.
Yo, this shit be funny. So we be having like real things like that. Like that would have been funny. 4th of July to film that interaction. Snap. That would have been we be having some real shit, and it's like the real stuff is what's the funniest, and it's just how we gotta go. But it's I be having these shelters, these walls and shit that I be having, but like, and another thing, like my shelters is weird because of certain things. Like, so when my brother died, right, my brother dies, Mike finds out my brother dies, and it's like, because when you deal with death, people can say, oh, yo, my condolences, that don't mean shit. But Mike's first thing he said to me is, are you good? Right? So I'm like, oh, yeah, me. Like, what about me? Shit. Now, 2 years later, because his birthday is this weekend, I still don't know if I'm good. But the thing is, when your nigga like, yo, is you good though? It's like, okay, yeah, that's real. Let me think about that. But so it's like with my YouTube, I'm trying to not focus on me and focus on everything else. With my driving, I'm not trying to focus on what I want to have fun with. I'm trying to focus on what everybody else is going to see. I've always kept myself fucked up in things like this. And Mike over here like, nigga, I'm doing what the fuck I want, right?
Post it up.
People say shit about his giveaways. Who fucking care, nigga? Like,
man,
giveaways
it's like
happening.
Yeah, people, you doing a giveaway? It's like, bro, it's fucking. I was doing $15 an entry for a fucking 2J. And it was like, where can you get a 2J at with entering fucking $15?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't gotta give no 2J away. I'm good off YouTube. I can sell y'all merch and be, be set.
Yeah.
But when everybody doesn't have the the means to get a 2J, it's like, bro, there's $7,000 now. 2Js are $7,000.
Yeah.
And on my giveaway prices, like I never raised the prices up on my giveaways. It was like, fuck it, I'll eat the profit if it takes for somebody to still get this at the exact same cost of whatever they was. It wasn't like, oh man, 2Js cost more, so you feel me? I gotta bump up the price. Yeah.
Right. He doing what he want to do. So when I see that, right, I'd be like, so, vicariously, I'm like, damn, my nigga living, right? Because I'll be on his head for 2 years. Get a house, Mike. Get a house, Mike. Mike, get a fucking house, Mike. Get a house, Mike. When he was ready, he got a motherfucking house. Hey. I still mentioned it to him that week, but that week he said, all right, let's do it. I've been mentioning it to him for 2 years, but I said that week, all right, get a house.
See, man, he was, get a house. I'm like, I'm building cars. I'm like, So it got to a point with family and shit, man. My brother stole from me, and he was living there, and he stole from my granny. I was like, at that point, I was like, that's the last straw. I'm over it.
Yeah.
And it was a house right down the street from him that was for sale. I had no intentions on buying a house, dude. I didn't have no money saved up for no house, nothing. And then when I had came over here, he was like, oh, that house for sale. I'm like, damn, that house look nice. Looked at the Bozello. I'm like, I want that house.
Yeah.
And right then and there, I started looking for a house. It was like an impulse. I'm like, fuck it. I don't got no money saved up, but if it was meant to be, we're going to get this house.
Yeah.
And, granted, the house was listed at $420. The shit went for like $470 or some dumbness. But, I was like, you know what? I'm still going to keep looking for a house in the area. And I started, saving up a little money, saving up the YouTube stuff, and doing like little merch here and there, doing giveaways. And I'm like, all right, cool. I got a decent amount saved up. And fuck it, right at that time, the FD popped up. I'm in the middle of like escrow, like type of ordeal. FD pop up for $15,000. I'm like, oh my God. I tell my girl, like, hey, we might not get no house because this FD $15,000. I'm like, I was like, we're not gonna find another FD for $15,000. I'm like, it's not gonna happen. They're already going for 25.
Yeah.
Like minimum. So what I ended up doing was, I'm like, you know what? I can't touch money in the bank. I'm like, I'm about to do a giveaway on this bike. I'm like, I just fucking fell off this bike. It's about to be winter time. Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself on this thing. My girl didn't want me to have it. I'm like, fuck it. Did a giveaway on the bike, and then used some of the money that I had already put away, and then I bought my FD and I bought my house at the same time.
And that's why I was sitting back like, damn, my nigga he getting it how he want to get it.
Yeah.
So that's what I get happy, because I be like, he doing what he want to do, and I know for a fact he's being like organic, right? I could sit here and tell you all fucking day, 20 years, do something, and you don't have to do it until you feel like doing it. And then that's what he do. So then that's when I started saying, you know what, bro? Because like I said, going back to my brother, it took my brother dying for me to say, I'm gonna live how the fuck I want. I'm gonna die anyway. My brother went to sleep. I talked to him the night before. He was dead in the morning, right? Trying to live right, do everything right. And I'm like, Mike know me, I've been making bread all my life, right? But I don't do nothing. I don't buy nothing. I don't do nothing. My brother died, I buy 7 motorcycles, fucking buy, I'm like, man, fuck this shit, right?
Yeah.
He went through his midlife crisis.
Yeah, because it's like, yo, fuck this money. Fuck, my nigga getting it his way. Fuck this. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to do what the hell I want to do. So then a lot of people start looking at me like, yo, you got a death wish? Because I be wilding, right? And I be like, no, I'm just filming what I actually do. And I'm on stuff to do it with. So then,
I'm happy that he's doing, because the shit on the bikes, like he got me into the bikes. Like I was interested in getting into bikes because I went over there and I rode his bike. I'm like, cool, we can do this. So I don't look up bike content on YouTube and stuff, but when I'm looking at his, and I'm like, all right, I'm looking at things from an editing standpoint anytime I'm looking at YouTube.
Right.
And I'm seeing how good the lighting looks when he's riding the bikes, the ND filters or whatever he's using. I'm seeing the motion blur without fucking up the center of attention. I'm like, yo, this shit is good. If I can get my ride-along footage or even videos where I'm racing niggas to where it looks like I'm going even faster when I'm doing, I'm like, I need to peep the game, you know. So seeing him do it and having fun with him, like, yes, finally. Now that we off the Build 9 size guy shit, like now we gotta build that, build that fan base up. But I'm like, dude, you make the content to do it. Like I sat there and watched a fucking 15-minute video of him just riding through back roads and shit because the shit looked good. It was like refreshing to look at. I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right. This nigga's going down the same road. He made a U-turn. I know exactly where he's going, but I'm sitting here captivated by all the shit going by. And you get that, and I'm like, all right, is this nigga gonna go over a pothole? Is a deer gonna come out? Like, what's gonna happen? So it's dope to see him actually doing shit. And the next step is to be like, yo, we need to get you to film in 4K, but we're gonna work on that. I'm tired of that nigga grabbing something and not cleaning his phone list before he start recording.
Yeah, I be in the middle of a lot of shit, and like I said, Mike be the king of grabbing B-roll, and sometimes I be sitting there and be like, oh, this will be fire. But all I got on me is my phone. It's like, hold up, oh shit, yeah. And then I be having, because he told me one day, he's looking at the, he said, I could tell when you go from this camera to this camera, then to your primary camera with the filters on it, and then this and that. I'm like, yeah, you can't kind of see that. So I'm getting my shit together where it's gonna get to the point where everything is 4K. But I film with so many cameras. Like when I do car stuff. I
feel like all he needs is 2 GoPro 8s or GoPro 9. Every single piece of footage I record, dude, is off of a GoPro. If you can get 4K out of it, perfect. And then if you want cinematics to where it looks a little more motion blur, you just drop the frame rate. The frame rate is what gives you the motion blur. Right. Like I sat there and studied so many different videographers, figuring out how to set up the camera, what they use, how ND filters and stuff work. Because if I'm gonna put out something, it's like I want to put out the best that I can. Just like when I upgraded to Final Cut Pro, I was already using iMovie. I'm like, people are already vibing with the videos. Yeah. I don't have to go out and and go get another software to push myself to the next level. I can just be like, whatever, it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm gonna keep making money. Right. But from a business standpoint, I'm like, yo, I want to better my shit. I want to further my craft to where if I'm sitting here editing. And I decide I want to take 3 days to put together some cinematic stuff, I want to be able to use this software and break it down to a certain format that's fit for YouTube, fit for Instagram, fit for Facebook, to where it doesn't mess up the video quality. And it's like, yeah, you get uncomfortable with things when you first start, but once you play with it, it becomes like a regular to you. So, that's what I want him to get used to. It's like forget the phone. Just use the cameras. Pull all the footage off of there. Like this fool will have like 20 cameras set up. It's like, one thing I've learned is you don't need that many angles to capture what you need to capture and still have fun.
Yeah, that's why a lot of the track day footage now you only get 2 cameras. I'll have like 7 of them set up, but I only use 2 views now, or I'll pull audio from one, like, oh, this exhaust sounds better there. I pull that audio and overlay it. But I'm starting to, I'm like I said, I'm
man, you're too much Top Gear on it, pretty much, man.
Yeah, I'm having that production brain, like, oh, this is gonna be ill if we do this, and then drop it in a way like this.
He's looking at it from a standpoint where he's like, I want to see how this is. Like one view that I hate that people do is when they put the freaking GoPro on the door or the fender just to see the wheel doing this. It's like, bro, I don't want to see a whole run of your wheel doing this. It's like, you don't need that. I can see if you're doing like, a cinematics where it's like, yo, I'm about to put multiple clips together. I'm using 4 or 5 cameras. Cool. This shot is only going to be seen for a couple seconds. We jump into the next shot. Here's this. I'm going back to the shot after you guys have seen 12 other shots. Like, yeah, you can jump back and forth on it, but it needs to be a strategic thing when you're getting ready to do it within editing. Like for me, I don't sit there and let cameras just roll. It's like I know what shot I want because I know how I want the footage to look out when I'm done. Right. So even when I'm uploading I get ready to edit, at most my video I'll have like 20 to 30 minutes of footage that I've recorded that I'm probably pulling down to like 18 minutes. And that's just mostly the dead space because I'm not sitting there letting the GoPro record while I'm moving.
I'll just hit play and go put my gloves on, put my helmet on.
Yeah,
it makes editing so much.
That's what I was gonna ask you, Mike. Because my method is like editing while I shoot. So when I get to the track, the first thing I do, like the other day, I'll before I offload the car, do a little B-roll, and then pretty much like I'll do it in a sequence. Sometimes it goes out of order. You'll miss a shot. You want to get it. Do you edit in order, or sorry about that? Do you edit while you shoot, or you just kind of shoot, and then kind of remember where you put the video at?
So the way I record is anytime I'm getting that shot I want, I'm recording that shot right then and there, and then when I'm editing, all the files are going to be organized from exactly how they were recorded.
Right.
So if I'm doing cinematic, I might mix things up and cut things together. But if I'm just doing a vlog and I'm already said like, yo, this run I want it to be, I want in-car footage, and then as I'm coming around this turn, I'll have somebody out recording. I'm like, I'll connect it and cut it right there to where my inside footage jumps directly to the outside footage right there. But I don't even when I go drifting, I don't record all my runs. I'll probably get like 3 or 4 good runs that I know I'm gonna use, and then I'm like, after that, I'm ready to enjoy the rest of the day, because at the end of the day, I can have 20 good runs. I'm not gonna put all 20 of those runs in the video,
right? And
I don't want to be sitting there focusing on, I'm sitting here vlogging, I want to record. Like, no. When I went to the track, man, when I go to the track, because I haven't been in so long, and I took the 300ZX out, my mindset wasn't too like, all right, I'm about to make a vlog. I was like, man, I got this camera right here. I gave my girl a camera. And I had my boy with the drone. I got the B-roll footage that I needed from when I first got there. And then I was like, I'm driving. I'm like, I haven't drove in so long. I'm here to test this car out and to see what this car is going to do. I can't be worried about where I'm placing cameras and stuff. So I just used the footage that they had. But like now that I know the car is cool, I'm like, all right, I can go there and I can have fun with my vlog. You know, I can put a camera here, camera there, and be like, I can capture this, have my girl on the outside getting some 4K iPhone footage or whatever. And then I can just merge that all in. But for the most part, man, if I'm at the track and I'm driving, I'm doing something new to where I'm testing, like my main focus is driving. So even when I'm at the track, I'll tell people, I'm like, man, I'm not doing ride-alongs today because it's my first time taking the car out. I'm still trying to feel it. A lot of people think when you don't offer them a ride or something, like, oh, that fool is an asshole. He don't want to give us a ride. It's like, dude, if I'm sitting here for the first time driving the car, I don't know what it's going to do. I need to see what it's going to do with me in the car.
Right.
Me putting the extra 200 pounds in the car is going to affect the way the car is going to move.
Big
and people that don't drive don't see that.
Right. And speaking on that, I mean, that's a big thing right there, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. Definitely, but that's one of the things I kind of wanted to put towards the front. But whatever, is an organic podcast. Like, since the channel notoriety is going up, man, you gaining subscribers all the time, man. One thing you posted about 2.5 weeks ago, and that shit, I thumbed that shit up. I said 1,000% because you were like, man, I remember when I asked this dude to spare me $400 for the camera, and he was like, nah, son, whatever. And you said he came up with some money for whatever. And then fast forward, he's in your inbox like, hey, man, what's up? Can you do this? Blah, blah, blah. You're like, nah, man, actually, no, because I asked you, like, you know, I lowered my humility and asked you as a man, which is hard to do. People don't realize that's hard to do for a lot of people, to ask somebody for something that they need or whatever.
You want to hear something even crazier?
What's that?
So that person that I was referring to was my blood-ass brother.
Really?
My blood-ass brother.
Okay, that makes it even harder.
Yeah, I asked him, I'm like, man, I was already recording from the iPhone. I'm like, hey, you know, he just came up, oh yeah, he's like, I just came up with some money, which one? I'm like, man, I don't even want no money. I'm like, just give me, if you can, just give me a GoPro. Mind you, he had already been hitting shit. Like, he could have stole a GoPro and gave me a GoPro for all I cared.
Right.
I just wanted a GoPro. And, you know, he gave my mom like $5,000 or some wild shit. And then, you know, never looked out for me. And I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Wow, man.
I went, what's even crazier, bro, is I went and bought my GoPro, right? And then I want to say a year later, he came by and sold me a GoPro that he stole. He sold me a fucking GoPro. Like, nigga, remember I asked you for a GoPro? You never gave me one? I'm like, well, here, I'll buy this GoPro from you.
Right.
So it was that set me off like, damn, you can't really trust it. You can't really trust nobody, man.
Yeah,
it's like you'll look out for people and they won't do the same for you.
Yeah. And that's family too, man. I didn't know that was I didn't know that
blood
was
brother.
Wow, man.
So after that, he had something had happened where his car got impounded, whatever. I'm like, all right. And then he was like, oh, can you get the car off for me? Or I had told him, he was gonna let the car sit. So he was gonna let the car sit, and it was like an old Cadillac Coupe de Ville, clean, like on 22s and shit. I'm like, oh, this would be a dope little donk to build. So I'm like, he gonna let it sit. And my cousin had called me, who he bought the car from, was like, man, your brother left the car there. And I was like, well, if the car in your name, I'll buy it out. Let's go get it. I'll buy it. I'll take it. Instead of letting it sit, it'll still be in the family. I told my brother, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go get the car or whatever. Nah, man, just give me the money. I'll pay you back for it. I'm like, so you rather let the car fucking sit there than to let me go buy it out and get it? Like, why? What? First off, you didn't buy me no GoPro. Why the fuck would I bail your car out for you?
Right.
Nigga, eye for eye. I don't care. Like, I felt like I got betrayed at that point.
Hey.
So.
Hey, that shit's real, man. That shit's you know, and what I was kind of getting at too, man, is I mean, I don't seem like you're at that point, man, where you let, you know, like the things going up. Like I said, the trigger was the guy who said actually for the ride along. And what I was also question I was asked, man, is like how guys they subscribe to you, they view your stuff, and then they feel like they kind of get stock into you. I have that thing with my company where guys, they think because I do certain things, or say I do a job for $10K and the job was great and everything is good. Some customers, I had to cut motherfuckers off after I did a great job because they felt like they had stock on me after that. I'm like, nah, bro, that job is done, 100%. Pictures documented. Your car is great. The tune is great. We're done. Moving on.
The funny thing that happens with this nigga is because of him being the youngster burning rubber everywhere,
right.
And then you know, the homie always telling him, nigga, go disrespect your new neighborhood, right?
Right.
And he be like, nah, nigga, there's white folks around here,
yeah.
Right? So then, but he was already saying this. People be like, man, go do some donuts and burn rubber. Nigga, hit my inbox with some bread. Hit it with the Cash App. Let me buy some tires then. Not just finna do shit because you want me to do it. When I feel like doing it and I make that content and give it to you, that's when you get it. You telling me to go do it, I'm not about to do that.
Right.
Got the game fucked up.
Right. So Mike, have you had, I mean, in a nutshell, man, how have you balanced, you know, the walking into the store and people recognize you, blah, 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 and they kind of, I mean, I know you're you all the time, man, but they expect you to be like a certain kind of way, whereas like you're not on, like, I guess if you're, say, a comedian, and, you know, a lot of comedians are really funny, but people would think Kevin Hart is funny 200% a day. He's not really like that. He's not in that mindset all the time. So is that?
Man, I got used to it.
Okay.
One of the things that I experienced was I remember meeting somebody that I kind of looked up to, and I thought I was like, oh, when I meet this person, that's just dope. And met him, and then it was kind of like an asshole. So I was like, damn. And for me, I was like, I'm not gonna be that dude. Right. I've been out eating with my granny, and people came up to me like, oh, you know, I don't want to bother you. I'm just trying to say what's up. Like, it's cool, it's love.
Yeah.
If I'm out in public, man, I don't look at myself no different from anybody else. I've been saying that shit for years. At the end of the day, I just so happen to be somebody that has a decent following, and people fuck with the cars, you know? So I look at it as we're all part of this exact same community. Yeah. So I'll go to a meet. Like he invited me to a meet. I'm like, cool, I'm there. People come up to the car looking, cool. If y'all like the car, all good. I'm not tripping, but I'm here as an enthusiast to vibe. I want to see what's here. Yeah. I don't want to post something, I'm going to this meet, and then next you know, everybody's coming to this meet because I'm here.
Well, what Cuz say, it was hella funny because literally he was in the bed. I heard him say, hey, yo, I just got the car out, fresh paint. There's a meet literally around the corner. Right. I'll go if you roll because I don't do car meet shit. I go to the track, right? But I'm like, this is a cool thing to get out. He said, oh, where it at? Oh, it's over here. All right, I roll. It's like, all right, cool. We get there. Niggas was like, Mike, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Yeah.
I didn't post about it.
He never said he was going to be here. He just popped up. But this is what car shit is. And so people be used to motherfuckers saying, hey, I'm going to be at so-and-so.
Right.
Drop by and say hi. Buy some merch. That's the YouTube way.
Yeah.
A real car enthusiast.
And that's where like on your giveaway joint too, man. That's why it's different. Like I said, the giveaway thing is not the giveaway or whatever, because I do it too. But it's like the way you do it. It's like your shit's like a fucking 12 o'clock at night gimmick on TV. That shit come on like, yeah, if you invested to my thing and this and this and all the false promises, and it's like, nah, dude, I'm just, you know what I mean, I'm giving back, pushing it forward and everything, and those are more genuine. Versus the other guys who are doing giveaways and whatever, and it's just like you could tell they ain't real like that.
Look at how people do giveaways, man. Yeah. Nobody can ever say like, "Oh, this fool had a giveaway open for 2 months." My giveaways are at most, when I was on Jay-Z giveaways, 3 days.
Right.
Once it was full, it was full. It wasn't like I could have easily been like, man, I'm about to leave this shit open for a week and make a big bag.
Right.
But it was like, man, already have a set price. This is what it's gonna take to send it. This is what it's gonna take to give the first 5 people their cash giveaways, etc. And once that was done, it's like, cool, I'll close it.
Right.
There's no need for me to sit there and milk the fucking horse for everything,
right.
you know?
And plus how you do it, like, you're following, right? So niggas have watched him wrench on his car. He's giving you a motor with the intent for you to make something cool.
The exact same thing.
Right?
No, I haven't went out and be like, oh, I'm gonna give y'all this RB. I'm gonna give y'all or whatever. It's always been Jay-Z's because that's what I've been known for. I'm like, yo, people are here fucking with me because of these of my Jay-Z's in the SC. So here's your chance to win a fucking Jay-Z for $20, $25 or whatever it was. I think the first one I was on like 15, and I think I went to 25 or something like that. So it was like, this is your chance to win a fucking I think at the time they were like $5,000, like a $5,000 motor for 25 bucks. So you have those people that are, oh man, you just trying to could do like all the other YouTubers. I'm like, dude, I'm tagging the people that are winning. You can see these people put this in their car. It's not like here's a giveaway and you never fucking see.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say too. What's the door like from when the shit's over? What's the duration between after the shit's over? How soon are they getting their shit? The participants.
Bro, as soon as the giveaway is over, they get that motor within the first week or two.
See, that's right there because I felt guilty. I felt victim of this, and I gave some shit. Like, hey man, I seen people follow me. Like, hey man, send me your address or whatever. A chat to get other motherfuckers to follow your shit, and I'll send them a thing. And right now, I got 2 guys who I fucking like said 3 weeks ago. I ain't mail that shit out because I don't got an assistant here and whatever. That shit's like. That's a magazine and some stuff, man. But we talking about engine and stuff like that and the money coming in. That's good shit, man, because dudes will be doing that giveaway shit. And then you'll see them do another giveaway and the homie like, hey, man, so what about my wheels? And this one guy posted up and it went on for about a year or two. I think with the Bryson Ship guy or whatever. I don't know, not sure if you know him or not. Yeah. And he,
Will Plug.
Yeah. And he kind of, so that guy was like, hey man, well fuck it's, and the guy started getting wordy. I'm like, dude, it was a free giveaway. You didn't even pay anything. You just kind of like won it. So it's like, that's the shit right there is cool. Good on you, man, for getting those people their shit, because you start doing those giveaways and then not giving the shit away. It's like, well, dude, you just got money and followers and you're not kicking it back.
I had one situation to where an engine took a little longer than what it was, but I stayed in contact with the winner. I had told him like, yo, I'm like, it's not on. So what happened with the, it was a 1J I did a giveaway on.
Right.
We were moving the motor and it fucking fell off the forklift. And I told the dude, I'm like, hey, this motor fell. I don't feel comfortable with sending you some shit where the alternator or bracket or some shit probably got bent.
Yep.
I'm like, but there's supposed to be a new shipment coming in. It was like a couple days or something. And then all the shit with the port, the motor got stuck at the port for like 3 weeks. They kept getting invoices saying, oh, the new motor is going to be here. The new motor is going to be here. And here we are 3 weeks in, and they're still, the trailer didn't get there.
Right.
So I was like every day I was talking to dude. I'm like, hey man, I'm like, it's this ain't on me. I'm like, here's the company's number, everything. You can talk to them. And he was understanding about it. And then we finally got him his new motor, and I was like, hey, your motor's there if you want to, because I was going to ship it to him, but he wasn't too far. So he was like, oh no, it's cool. I'll go pick it up. But for the most part, within the first 2 weeks, I've never had any issues with anybody not getting something.
Good shit.
Like
man.
that's why you've never heard a complaint.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly do all these Jay-Z giveaways and not one person comment like, hey, where the fuck did my motor go? I never got my shit.
No, I ain't hear nothing like that, and especially with today, man. Like that's why I was saying. That's why like when I put 2 and 2 together with the cat and your 2J shit, it was like, bro, this is a bold time to be doing anybody wrong, man, on any form, because that shit will fly, man. And then like you got your following, and they just was like I went on this shit, right? Because I actually talked to the cat. I talked to that cat Miggy like 2 years ago. And I was like, I seen this video, and I was like, you know what I mean? I kind of keep it, the way I run my shit is a little bit different. You look at my shop, man, my floor is clean. I'm military, prime military, man. So it's like, shit gotta be in order. Because even when it's out of order, it looks like more in order than most shops. And
I I said, this nigga built your fucking motor on the beach, nigga. Yeah. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, dude. So I was like, hey man, when a customer come to my shop or I go to a shop, I'm like, bro, you got lug nuts on the homie's windshield, like, bro, that's customer shit ain't a tool chest. So it's like I seen his shit and I was like, hey man, let's get on the podcast. And he never got back to me. And I mean, hey man, I ain't here to.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. I'm not here to. This was like 2 years ago. I'm not here to blast nobody or whatever, man. But you can kind of see in the surrounding and the environment and the videos what the situation is, and like losing parts and losing hardware and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Like you see.
Yeah. I seen him. I was like, man.
The problem with him where he fucked up was he didn't think I would disassemble the motor.
Right. And I'm
like, bro, my SR when I was at PO, I ported my head. Right. I've taken apart a motor and put a motor back together.
Right.
Like I've been there. I just don't like doing it. I hate the idea of putting the motor all the way back together and a timing be off one fucking point or something, and now the whole shit has to come back apart.
Right.
So where he messed up at was, it's gonna be good, blah blah blah. And I had already had in the mindset, I was like, when this motor comes back, I'm taking it apart and I'm checking it.
That shit would have ran about 5 minutes, man.
It didn't even run. The motor that he sent back, I pulled it apart as soon as I got it back.
Right. That's what I mean. If you would have put it in there, that thing would have 5-10 minutes. That shit would have already been knocking.
The last one.
Yeah.
So that motor, that was the third motor he sent me. The second motor was the warranty motor that he was gonna do. I mean, not necessarily warranty, but he was gonna build me another motor because the first one blew up within the first year. And I was like, I got a year out of it. I'm like, I made gobs of money from doing the ride-alongs with it. I'm like, whatever, I got my money's worth.
Right.
I wasn't happy that we lost that motor because of a rod bolt stretching, but I was like, you know what? I got a year out of it. Cool, whatever. Let's do it bigger this time, and this time we definitely use the 625 rod bolts like I want.
Right.
So this time around, I'm thinking like, all right, we're gonna be good. And the problem occurred when he said that, I want to powder coat the valve covers so everything's gonna look presentable. I want the motor to be clean, and I know how this shit works. I told him in the text that I had posted on there and showed. I was like, I specifically told him, do not powder coat those valve covers if you're not gonna drill the baffles out.
Right.
Oh no, it's cool. Blah blah blah. When he powder coated the valve covers, sent me pictures. I'm like, you drilled the baffles out? He's like, yeah, we drilled them out. Everything is clean. I'm like, all right, cool. So we get the motor back. We put everything in. And the first problem that I noticed was when we started cranking it, it didn't want to build oil pressure. And I was like, all right. And the motor was cranking over it was cranking over slow. That motor before cranked over quick. This time around, this one cranked over as if it was tight. I'm like, all right. And then I sent the video to my tuner. And then when he heard the motor crank over, Lawrence is like a 2JZ guy. This fool, he does nothing but JZs. So when I sent him the video, he was like, hey, that motor sounds like it's tight. He was like, I don't know. I'm like, fuck it. I hit him up. He's like, no, everything was within spec. That's what Mickey had sent. So we started up, oil pressure build up. I'm like, all right, cool. We got oil pressure, motors running. My tuner's sitting there, getting it to idle up and everything. We finally get it to where it's idling. We can rev it. I'm like, cool. Let's get on the dyno. Get ready to get on the dyno to do some braking. Literally 10, 15 minutes into braking, probably it's seeing maybe 4,000 RPM. Just starts knocking. And I'm like, no way. So we pull it off and everything. And the first thing we have it off, I'm at home because at this point I'm like, man, I'm out to the house. Like, fuck this car. Pull it off the dyno. I'll deal with it later. So I sleep on it, and the next day I hit them. I call the shop. I'm like, hey, do me a favor real quick. I'm like, pull those valve covers off and check those and see if those baffles were drilled out. I was like, send me pictures. They pull the valve covers. As soon as you see it, bro, it looks like fucking sludge under there, and I can see the stock rivets from the baffles not being drilled out. I send him pictures and everything. I'm like, bruh, you said you drilled these baffles out or these rivets out and pulled the baffles out to clean it. I'm like, it was never cleaned. I'm like, these are the stock rivets in there.
Right. So you mean like all the sand and shit was in there, correct?
Yes, from the bead blasting. So what happens if you powder coat valve covers, you have to take the baffles out.
Right.
It's not I'm gonna just shoot water in there. No. Like this shit it has trapdoors designed to keep oil and shit from going back into the intake and everything, So if it's designed to do that, what do you think sand's gonna do? You think water is gonna get around all these quarters and clean all the sand out? Like it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I hit him on that. He's like, "Oh man, just send it back to me. I'll take care of it." Blah blah blah. And I'm pissed. Like I'm hella pissed because I just paid gobs of money for these fucking parts and this head. I had got a Garrett sponsor, so the turbo was a brand new G42, and anything that had oil ran through it had sand ran through it. So I'm like, everything's fucked.
Right.
And I tell him, I'm like, the cams are gonna be fucked up. I'm like, and we might not even be able to use the cam journals. I'm telling him like everything I expect. I'm like, this is what I'm pretty sure is gonna be messed up. And I was like, and the turbo. So he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it. Sent everything to him. He sent me pictures. Oh yeah, the block just got cleaned. The head's getting cleaned. I got the turbo at the, being inspected by the turbo guy out here. Blah blah blah. I got you brand new cams, and I sent screenshot all that. I'm like, all right, cool. I get the motor back. I'm like, you know what? This motor came on a pallet. It was tipped over.
Man, I was like, man, what the fuck?
The ratchet strap was connected to the freaking injector body. I'm like, nah. So when we get it, I'm like, let's set a day. We're gonna pull this thing apart. Pull the valve covers off, dude. The valve covers are like grinded. I'm looking at the cams. When we get the cam caps off, I can see all the wear from it. Looks like they probably just tried to micro polish the cams. So I'm like, these aren't brand new cams. These are the same ones that had sand ran through them. I can see the fucking cam journals are all fucked up. I'm like, no fucking way. And then at this point, I'm just like, this nigga really basically took it apart, tried to clean the head, and threw it back together with fucking hella assembly lube. Even the block, dude, the main seal wasn't pulled out. Like, you can still see the old ass oil and stuff on there. So I was just like, bro, I'm like, how you take a motor apart, put brand new parts in it, but you don't even pull out the oil galley plugs? Like, how do you flush the sand out? Like, if there's sand ran through it and you don't clean it out properly, it's still gonna be there. So at that point, I was just like, I had told him, and he was like, oh, if you take it apart, there's no warranty. I'm like, nigga, I'm not running this motor like this. I'm like, I know it's gonna be fucked up. I'm like, fuck your warranty and fuck you.
Your warranty, nigga.
So at that point, man, I was just like, what's crazy is my tuner's been doing this for so long to where Lawrence told me when I sent my motor to Texas to have him built, he said, he said 3 motors. He's like, you're going to be 3 motors into this thing. He was like, and at that point, you're going to be paying him so much that you could have had ALC build you a stroker motor. And me trying to be, a nigga supporting other niggas, I'm like, man, you rarely ever see black 2J builders. I'm about to give bro a chance because, niggas don't really give niggas chances like that.
Right.
So I was like, man, I'm going to give him a chance. And sure enough, I was like, this is, how when you see people be like, man, I got, like, people that I know, they be like, man, I take my shit to the white boys. And that's how I felt. I'm like, man, I'm going to take my shit to the white boys now. Because, brother, he done fucked it up. So here I am on my third JZ, and guess where my motor's at? It's a part at ALC machine shop where it should have went in the first place to go to.
No, I mean, but that's good. That's good on you for like trying to look out, man. And that's why, like, even like me being a black, the only American black performance shop in Japan, I always say that to put it out there, man. And like when I tell guys when they come here, man, my standards are high because, bro, it only take one build, like all the builds I've done, one fucking build that goes south, all the motherfuckers like, I told you so, man. This is going on 6 years now, and my record's still flawless, and it's like it's going to stay that way because it's like, look, man, we got to do it this way. If you don't want to do it this way, fuck off. And I've sent away some money this year, $30K worth. I did the math because I'm doing my end of year. Roughly $30K worth of job work I've turned away because they didn't want to do everything properly. I'm like, bro, I can't do that, man. I'm sorry, man, because I'm like, that shit will come back on you, it's gonna come back on me, and this is my livelihood and shit like that, man. So unfortunately, like I said, I don't know the dude Miggy personally, man, but it's like, I'm like, bro, man, that's just not you're not gonna lie about this shit. You have no reason to lie about it or nothing to gain from it. So you record it, you vlog it, and it's like
that's why I had all the documentation,
bro,
from the
I seen it.
Stuff.
I seen when you pull the back off. I seen the seal, it was dry as fuck. I'm like, that's old. Before you even said it, I'm like, I could see it. Before you said it, I'm like, that cap's fucked. That cap, the journal's fucked. All that lube on there. I'm like, that shit looks cool, but anybody could do that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, man, you see, in like your guy, when you start an RB up, I could tell a dude with an RB, I'm like, hey, start it up for me, low compression. before I even put a compression checker on it, I know what an RB sounds like, or a Jay-Z or a Honda sounds like when you start that shit up. It should have that crisp starter sound, and that shit's like that shit's fucked, man. So, but I mean, you handle it. I mean, you handled it as good as you could, man. And it wasn't, it wasn't like a petty way. You just put it out there like, hey, man, this is some bullshit.
Right, and
man.
The wild part about it was once I put it out there, you wouldn't believe how many DMs and messages I got from people that were like, yo, my shit got fucked up. Like I guess he's banned from the super page because he was doing, sketchy ass business for the super dudes. So, you had people that was like, oh, you always flaming somebody. It's like, bruh, if people don't hold people in this community accountable, then why would I let him get a pass after fucking me over to continue to do the same thing for somebody else after making a name off of me? Right,
he fumbled the bag, man. That's a new term right there. He fumbled the bag, and like, you don't.
He built probably like after my motor, I had like 6 people hit me like, yo, I got my motor over there, and I'm getting a run around. One dude, bro, I don't know if you've seen it, but I had posted his stuff where he sent me, exact same thing. He pulled out the oil galley plugs after having Miguel freshly build his motor because he seen that I was having issues with mine. This is before I even got my motor back. So dude had already took his apart and was like, yo, before you run that motor, he was like, take that thing apart because I took my shit apart after seeing what happened with yours. And he was like, and it was fucked up. And that wasn't even the second motor that Miguel had sent me, and dude had already took it apart. Yeah. So I knew coming in, I was like, nah, this ain't gonna be right.
Hey man,
but I was already so set on once I get this motor back, I'm having ALC take it apart and check it anyway, to the point where I was like, whatever. I didn't care. I just wanted to get all my shit back. Right. I wasn't about to be like, here, keep this motor that I got 15, 16 grand into. Like, nah, send me my shit back and I'll deal with it myself.
Yeah.
Just give me my core back.
Yeah, you handle it cool, man. It's just, with that stuff, man. Like, I don't even, with that shit, man. It's like you're using your platform, you're getting out there, you're helping the community, so people hopefully see that shit. And then from there, man, it's like all these motherfuckers out there claiming to be certain things, and then like I say, your tuner, he seems like he's a cool guy too, because he could be like, I got guys that come back to me after the fact, like, hey man, I should have came to you. I'm like, yeah, I kind of told you, man. Like, like it's like, but I'm not going to beat you up about it and submit and take you up to my jiu-jitsu mats and submit you into coming to my shop. They kind of, they get it, how they get it. And it happens, man. We got choices. And that's the thing, people, I'm a consumer too, even though I'm a business. So I go to certain people and I don't, but at the same time, there's RB guys in the States right now claiming to be the best RB builders. And I got customers last week. The dude drove his car into town and blew his transmission and engine after I worked on it, tuned it to 500 something horsepower, and the engine was perfect. And I'm like, nothing wrong with it. And the other guy gets it and fucks it up, and he sends me all this shit. And this guy 2 weeks ago was saying he's the best in the world. And I'm like, I could have been petty and screenshotted that shit right there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not winning nothing out of that. It makes me look like bad, if I do that. And and I don't think you were petty or nothing like that, man. I think you just made awareness to it, use your platform, and save guys a lot of money, man. And later on, they'll thank you for that shit. So that's my thing.
Yeah, So dealing with the situation with my old painter that annoyed the shit out of me.
The one at Lexis, yeah, you talking about that one?
Yeah, me and him had got into it big to where I wanted to fight that nigga. Like I went over there to pick up my car, and I was like, with the intentions like, bro, we about to throw hands, but he was so apologetic and scared where I'm like, I can't even fight the nigga because he's terrified to fight me,
Right.
But it was like he like wanted to sponsor the build. I'm like, you know what? He wanted to sponsor the 300ZX paint job. And I was like, you know what? My 300ZX isn't ready. How about I pay you to do my other car? And then, after we establish some business together, you can see that I'm paying you or whatever.
Right.
Then we can deal with the sponsorship. Let's build this relationship first. We get my 350Z back. 350Z, it's not the best, but it's it's tolerable. I can deal with it. I'm cool. I'm like, whatever. It's a street car. But when it came to my SC, man, it was just like Bondo on top of Bondo. And then people had started seeing that I was over there, so he started getting more business, and people that were coming after me getting their cars done. I'm like, hey, my shit been here 9 months, and you didn't paint it 20 other niggas' cars, whereas I'm here paying too, but You over here
that's the
doing
bad.
people shit
That's a whole.
came from me, you know?
Yeah.
And I be having
That's
that
a whole,
problems
man.
with his current shit
Bro.
right now, but he telling me to
He said
he
said
down.
he was saying.
Man, the thing, so Lex right now, like, man, your 350Z been there for hella long.
For a year, nigga.
My SC was at this other shop for 9 months, and I went and picked that shit up. It was like it had Bondo all over the place. The primer was fucked up. He fucking DA'd the chrome trim on the SC. It was bad. So for that one, I was hot. I was like, you know what? I'm mad because I'm about to cut all this shit off and redo it. So on that one, that was somebody that was like, oh, I want to work with you to get some exposure out there.
Right.
Same thing with Miguel.
Fumble the bag, man. Fumble the bag.
Same thing with Miguel. And what I've learned after that, I'm like, you know what? I'm over wanting to work with niggas and help niggas get somewhere at the expense of, at the end of the day, all right, they make some money, but then my shit ain't how it's supposed to be. I'm picky, dude. I'm super picky because I know how I want my shit to be. Like if I take my car to a shop and they're doing something, I'll be dude. When my LS3 was at Hexa, they had us together. I went over there and was unplugging shit and and redoing lines to the way I wanted them to be. That's just how strategic I like my stuff. It's like I don't want to see something. I don't want something crossing over something if it doesn't have to be there. So with that, with my new painter, I hit him up. I seen his work. I'm like, yo, I'm contacting him. I want him to paint my car. What's up? Granted, my 350Z has been there for a year, but dude, it's a fully custom wide body kit. Everything's like molded in.
Like so.
It's a candy paint job. It's been sitting there curing. It's been cut and buffed. The thing looks like glass, bro. Right. When you look at the picture of the car, you see everything reflected in the background.
Lex
like 9.
So fucking long, yo. I done got 2 cars painted.
Lex, hey, I bet you if you seen our car side by side, you'd be like,
mine looks good. His will look show worthy, but he ain't had his car since Trump was in office, and he ain't gonna get it back till Trump come back.
Hey, I got 8 cars, man. If 7 of them are at home or whatever, it's cool. I got other options to drive, man.
I just be like, I just don't.
Soon as I pick up my 350Z, I'm dropping another car off. The car came out so good to where I can justify waiting.
It looks good though. Like no bullshit. It looks good. It just takes, for me, because I'm the type of person that wants to go do track days, I want to use the car. I wouldn't be able to stand that.
Come on, Lexi, Mike got like 8 cars though, man. So you got other cars to play with.
What he don't understand though is the whole car was blocked. It wasn't like, are we gonna sand it and just spray it? Like, dude, the kit was molded, everything was shaped. There was brackets and everything made to keep this stuff, sturdy to where shit isn't moving. There's no self tappers all over the place. Like it's literally like show car quality paint. Like when you look at the lines, you're like, dude, these lines are beautiful.
He's telling me that. I get it.
He ain't seen it in person yet though.
No. But look, I get it. But I dropped my RX-7 off JTP, a stock car. When that motherfucker came back, it had the Blizzard White Pearl. It looked like a show car. All of my aero, and I had 3 sets of aero. All of them were trimmed perfectly. They all fit exactly the same. Blinkers, everything clean for the oil cooler.
How much did you pay though?
I built a whole car though.
How much did you pay though?
I built a whole car.
He talking.
I built the whole car.
Remember,
Gauge, engine. I dropped my car off a certain way and got it back in that magazine.
He's also on some longshoreman shit where money to him was like, whatever, I'm paying the bag. He also drove his car 7 hours away. I ain't going that far. Dude. He was so over dealing with the people in this area, so he was like, fuck this. I'm taking my shit to the white boys down that way. That nigga went hella far away to go get his car done.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I ain't doing that.
But he got it done in 10 months.
Yeah. I built all right, but it goes back to I built my SC in 3 months. It went from completely stock to Jay-Z wide body wheels and painted. It was painted. It looked good. It looked good enough to go viral. Everything.
Yeah.
It was a good looking car. 3 months. But my little $700 paint job don't equivalent to the $10,000 paint job.
Right.
Like you see I see the amount of work that went into sculpting that thing. It was like hours on the back bumper, hours on the fenders, days on the front bumper. Like I seen it. So it wasn't like, I'm gonna let the car sit here for a month. I'm gonna work on it one day and let it sit for another 3 weeks. It was like he was sending me updates like, yo, dude would go in at like 12 o'clock in the morning or 12 p.m. and leave the shop at like 7 in the morning some days. Go home, sleep for like 3 hours, and then go back to the shop and was on my car. So me waiting a year for it, I'm like, dude, it was worth it. When I seen the color go on there, I was like, yo, I'll wait another year if my car came out that good.
But I just be like, to me, normal guy, right? When I see the car just needs to get his headlights and taillights put in, why the fuck is it taking 2 months to put the headlights and taillights in?
So the car, like I said, the car was sitting there after it got painted for another 2 months because it had to cure. Take like 90 days for the paint to cure.
How long does it take to cool off soup, blood?
Hey, it take 90 days for paint to fully cure.
Yeah.
For you to be able to be like, all right,
you can't wash
I'm
gonna
PPF the front end and do the protective film and all that.
Maybe one day when I decide to make something, I don't know. I guess it's an art piece or whatever. I'm
probably not even gonna drive it that much no more.
That's that bullshit. That's what I'm talking about, yo.
I'm gonna drive it once I get. I'm gonna drive it once I get the freaking the air bubble and everything around it, so it don't get hit with no rock chips.
Yeah. But see, that's my thing. I be wanting the cars to be usable. I want to use it. You know what I mean?
He know damn well I'm gonna be driving that 350Z, painting off. Once it get messed up, I'll be back at the painter for another year. Like, can you fix this front bumper? It got rock chips.
Yeah.
That's what I told him. And so I give him shit all the time, but I told him, go PPF that car, nigga. It's like, cause the quality's really good,
right? And
I know PPF works because my guy
is that the ceramic stuff or that the
ceramic coated and then paint protection.
But you got it. But this is like Mike mentioned that after he finishes all his shit, you gotta wait 2 to 3 months before you do that shit.
Yeah,
because he'll do it and it'll leave an imprint in the paint. Right.
No, they say 90 days for the paint to fully cure, because if you put it on and pull it off, if the paint isn't cured, you'll pull the paint up.
Yeah, we got, and this shit sucks to be getting shipping for that. Yeah.
All of the time that's been put into it, it does look really good, and then it's like, then you go, our streets ain't the greatest. I remember when I bought my RX-8 brand new, I had that motherfucker 2 months, and the truck kicked a rock up, and a rock hit my A pillar, and there's a dent in it to this day, nigga. So it's like, you gotta
take it over to his painter, man. Get that shit fixed, son.
Yeah,
I won't have that RX-8 till January.
He ain't bought that life.
Yeah.
He'll get it back and be like, "Ooh, I can't drive this on the track no more."
Yeah, see, hey, them cuz ripped my doors off. I put doors on and sent them back to the homies. Yeah. They had me good in 3 days, please.
Man, watching you see it, man. I even went as far as putting the Lambo doors on there. It's so funny.
He's bugging the fuck out.
I got
the doors go up.
Yeah.
This is wild with that.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I guess he's gonna get into how they pour nights. But so I got the question for you. So since you're like the 200K, 280K on the subscribers,
290 now, 290. Baby.
So you're in the realm, right? Because a lot of people on YouTube, it's a small space of a lot of niggas getting 1 million plus for automotive guys, right? But there's a lot of popular YouTubers everybody watches is like 280. You got Tall Guy, Organic, Kicks, Oaks, the 200 realm. Is that like, so how you're moving now, the followers that you're gaining and everything? Like, what are you trying to say is where the white women at, man?
No, I don't know, man. No, go ahead.
No, but what's your plan? Because see, if you look at guys like and this isn't anything that we don't talk about, but when you look at guys, all of y'all in that 200 something range, even higher though too. I can't even say that because that's just how automotive YouTube is now. But y'all build a lot. When you know what I'm saying, like what's your next progression, I should say, for your channel? Like how do you think you're gonna get, I say weird, how do you think you're gonna get that leap 350 up to where as it just starts to pull in?
So what I noticed with YouTube is, I know he wants me to drive more, and for me driving is like, it's a personal thing. I want to drive because I want to have fun.
Yeah.
But when you look at, if you look at anybody that's doing like autocross, time attack, whatever you want to call it, drifting, how well does that type of content do on YouTube? Like, it doesn't really do too well
because it's saturation.
Like, just yeah. So when you watching, for me, like I've posted drifting videos and stuff like at the track. Those videos be like, whatever. Like, they don't care. So for me, if I'm doing something I'm doing something I like because I'm doing it for me. So if I'm going out and I'm making a video for a drifting video, it's because I want to see what I was doing wrong. It's also, obviously, it's going to be for content, but I'm not doing it to be like, oh, I hope this is going to be a good video. It's like, nah, I'm already going to the track. I'm going to have some fun. And, here goes a video of what happened that day. And far as subscriber count, man, I don't care about the subscriber number, because I see people that have 1 million views or 2 million views, but then it's like they average a video have like 100,000 views.
Yeah.
So I care about consistency.
Yeah.
And that's been my whole thing. It's like, if I have 200,000 subscribers, but I average 50,000 views or whatever, I'm already at a 25% view rate.
Right.
So I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But when you're seeing high subscriber counts and then people fall off, it's like, that's what I don't want.
Yeah.
I want people to be there and be consistent. That's
so
why
you're cool with the 280, 290.
I'm cool.
That's
because the thing about that too is like also like the correlation of what a lot of guys don't realize is the minutes watched with the ads. You got the subscriber count, then you got the views, and then the like sometimes that you'll see the guys with high subscribers, high views, high comments, and like I'm talking about, like I watch like MMA channels, like dude, before they even fucking get 10 minutes in, it's already like 1,000 people because they want to talk about the fight or whatever. So you got the guys who right after the fight's over, they're fucking editing, and those guys are getting it's like you got, so now it's like people want that shit right the fuck now. That's why Doherty 10. I'm in Japan and I get the magazines. I don't open the magazines. I just get them and put them on a shelf for guys who want to buy them. I don't open that shit up. So the DVDs, nobody wants to wait. D1 is over, and then 2 weeks later, a fucking DVD comes out. Nah, dude. The dudes are now living from D1, and now they getting D1 is like, hey, man, y'all got to chill out. You can't film here. You can't live here. And now D1 is getting in there and doing this shit because I told the head guy at D1, I'm like, bro, these DVDs, nobody's buying that shit. And then he's like, oh, Soka. And then 2 years later, they started doing a live streaming and shit. So I want to say I played a part in that, but they're not gonna give me that credit. And it's just stand on course, stand ahead. And then I know one thing you see Mike too a lot, and Lex, we talked about it too, is these motherfuckers buying likes, buying subscribers, and you can see how fake. You can see that shit, man. Like, how does the video get 50,000 views and then it has like 2 comments? It's impossible.
Yeah.
That shit stands the fuck out, man. So, and it's hit and miss, man.
You see that a lot on Instagram.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I lost my main account, 150K lost. Yeah. And I knew somebody that could get it back, but it was like, oh, it's gonna be like 1,000 to get the account back because he worked at Facebook. And I thought about it. I was like, man, it's not that serious. I'm like, if the people that organically fuck with me, they'll be back. They'll find my new page,
bro.
Yeah, so I'm like, it ain't.
That shit right there, like again, man. I think we're 3 comfortable black dudes in our skin, and like I know Lex, James Stewart, motocross, superstar. James Stewart just dropped this podcast fucking 2 days ago. 2 days ago, and this is episode 130, right? He just dropped this shit 2 days ago. First thing got fucking what? 20K something views or 20K like comments are going fucking like the blotter and shit, and it's like I'm happy for the dude because he's a fucking legend, and I could be over here like, man, that's bullshit. I'm like, nah, dude, it's just if Kanye West started a podcast, where the fuck, man, he has a following, so people got to realize now you're competing with if Tom Cruise started a fucking podcast. million fucking views in one and a million subscribers in one day because it's Tom Cruise. You're competing with that shit now, so you gotta put your pride to the side and just do what you do, and shit'll come. I did that little joint with the motocross and drifting, and that was an idea, and that shit kind of like blew up and started getting shared around, and then it just fell off or whatever, man. So it went out and got out, and I got 2,000 subscribers off of just bike shit, and my channel was stagnant. So it's just guys there. And long story short, Mike, you could chime in. On the YouTube shit, you just gotta keep fucking swinging until you hit something, or you can't just fucking give up after the first 3 videos. And then I see a lot of new cats who don't pop in the first like month, and they're like, "Oh man, I'm fucking out of it, man. It ain't for me. These motherfuckers hating." I'm like, "Nah, dude, your shit's just lame."
Yeah, I see a lot of people that do that. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna start a YouTube." They start a YouTube and it doesn't pop off. And they're like, "Oh, forget it. This shit ain't working." It's like,
man, you gotta keep going, man.
You thought you was gonna post for 1 month, all of a sudden your shit was gonna be cracking?
Yeah, nah.
Like for even I have bad days. Like for me, when a video gets like 18,000 views in the first 24 hours, I'm like, damn, that one was bad. But I feel like whatever, I put out content. It is what it is,
Yeah.
So I try not to focus as much on the subscribers or the number amount. Is like if I had 18,000 views a day, let's say I had 18,000 views a day. And I was consistent 18,000, and then a couple months later I went up to 19 or 20. I'm like, cool. I'm seeing consistency. I don't want to see, oh, here it is. Damn, I made a video that made 500,000 views. Dope. And then 2 days later you have a video that does like 4. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that big discrepancy in my numbers. So I don't care if my video gets 100,000 views, 1 million views. Like I've had videos that have done 1 million views. It's like cool. But that's not the goal. It's dope to see, but for me, my goal within the first 24 hours that I like to see is 24,000 views in the first hour. That way, 1,000 views per 1 hour. If I see the next day I wake up 9 a.m. before my other video drops, and that video is at 24,000 or 40,000 views or whatever, if it anything over 24,000, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, perfect. I rarely even say, hey, what's up? Can y'all like and subscribe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't do that. I feel like if people fuck with you, they're gonna like and subscribe anyway.
Right.
I have people that have watched my channel and then I see a comment, they're like, oh shit, bro, I've been watching you for like 2 years and I just now noticed I didn't subscribe.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool. Regardless if they subscribed or not, it's like you still have that. You still get that view. I still see the comments. I'll respond to as many comments as I can, but. When you have hundreds of comments, you obviously can't respond to everybody.
Yeah, and that shit right there, man.
Can't.
Yeah, that shit right there is weird too, because you'll have a dudes that'll watch like the whole shit, and then like they'll be like, they'll be watching that shit in like a hating fashion or like research or whatever, and then just go off. For me, I'm the way I work, man, on YouTube. If I watch anything and I'm there for more than 5 minutes, I just hit the subscribe because it's not it's not a job or. It's you fucking hit subscribe or whatever, and if you really like the channel, you hit the bell. To get the notifications and shit. So I will say YouTube did have a moment, and it was about 3 years ago when that chick ran up on YouTube and tried to shoot the shit up, and she got killed and whatever.
That's right over here, actually.
And she ain't getting no fucking views now, so that was a bad move. So but they did have a moment where they I do know people who were subscribed to me who they were unsubscribed, so that shit was real. So she did have a kind of a point, but. I won't go in the studio. Start fucking running through there. So that shit happens. People got unsubscribed. They'll subscribe back on there and all that. And I just think and again, it's cool to you, man, that that shit, you don't let that shit affect your identity, because those type of motherfuckers, I actually unsubscribe from or I don't fuck with them or whatever, because there's cats in Japan, and if they watching this, I don't give a fuck, because they ain't gonna come beat me up and shit. And I'll go see them. It's like. That number is tied to their identity, and then when you go around, I'm like, hey man, bro, you're covering the scene. I am the fucking scene. I am a shop. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're covering the scene. If you just turn the camera, like I say, Mike, when your shit's cool because you're doing you got the camera, you're doing your stuff. You're like you said, 100%. You're the focal point, not the car, because the car is the focal point. You crash it, you sell it, then everybody's like, I don't want to see a yellow S13 no more that Adam LZ had. That car was the focal point, and then he moved on to other shit. So when that car or topic goes away, where everybody was like going to the Daikoku Futo and shit and filming that shit to death, and the Samet guy and the other guy, they're filming the same shit over and over with a different, narration, and it's not about, it's the channel is not about them. It's about if it makes sense. I don't know if I'm rambling, but it's about the fucking subject, not the channel owner. You know what I mean? That shit. You know what I mean? It is, but it's different shit for different people, I guess, man.
I got a question for you for like your channel, because he mentioned Adam's Cream S13. I was like, so do you have like in your head like a hero car for your, like, what's your favorite car or your?
I feel like it's two, because initially, before I even started my YouTube, I had already had a video of my Till 300ZX.
Right.
The street drifting video I did. That video, it was like the first week it had, I want to say like 3 million views, and I deleted it. I deleted it off of Facebook, because I was like, people was like, trying to tag OPD, CHP, like it was wild. Like people loved it and people hated it, and I was like, fuck this. I'm like, I'm about to delete this video. Yeah. So people had already knew me for the 300ZX, but I feel like the car that carried the channel before I can finish my 300ZX or anything was the SE.
Right.
I feel like that car just like carried everything. Like the most views are from the SE. People look at that channel and are like, yo, what's up with the SE? When the SE's coming back? Yeah. So, that's funny as shit, because I just put a SOAR up for sale yesterday on YouTube. I mean, not YouTube, but Facebook and shit. So let's see. If anybody want a SOAR, $3,500, come bring your own engine and wheels and shit. But but yeah, man, it's cool, man. Like I said, I don't want to keep you too long because I gotta get out of here too, man. And it's just been a good time. This is me and Lex normal time length, man. Anyway, so I wasn't expecting to get you for that long, man. But no, it's good. I'm chilling.
We be on it, man. It's just you know what I mean, with that stuff is again, man, kind of capping my own stuff. Like I said before, man, it's just really cool to see somebody out there doing it and then like being them, man. Because I just feel like there's so many cats, man, I can't relate to. I can't like do certain things. I'm here in Japan, and Lex was saying too, he pointed it out. He was like, basically, you don't have a team, you don't have a group. Now, and I go to the track by myself, dude. I got a full drift track to myself because I just don't fuck with the people who's here. I just can't be around them, man. I can't be phony around these people who I know talking shit about my shop and I charge too much and this and this. And I'm like, bro, I know what you said. I can beat your ass right now. Or I could just kind of like let it go and not get in trouble and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm just not going to hang around you. I'm not going to Cars and Coffee. So I'm pretty much a loner up here where I'm at. And I go down to Tokyo or whatever and hang out with my boys, Japanese cats down there and stuff, man. So it's just cool to see you doing your thing, man, on a natural, organic way. Man,
I'm the same way when it comes to like, you don't see a lot of people around me. I'm always around the same exact circle. Right. People think just because a lot of people know you that you have a lot of friends. Like, no. I probably got maybe 5 friends that know where I even stay at. Right.
I was just gonna say, Mike is one of the only people that really know where I stay at.
Right.
Like, I don't like,
and been in my house.
Yeah, I don't like having a bunch of people around me like that. Yeah. Like, if I don't feel like the vibe is right, then I'm cool. I'm comfortable with being solo. I don't need a group of people around me to solidify like who I am. Right. Like, I don't need that.
Has anybody triangulated your location like they did Lex? That you said Lex had a couple guys rolled on bikes and shit at his joint. They're like, I know I follow you. I know your highway's over there, and the gas station is right there. And
I'm pretty sure people. I'm pretty sure people know where I stay at. I didn't have people drive by and it's like, oh shit, what's up? I didn't know you live here. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I live here. Yeah. But I ain't never had nobody just pop up like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, I let it be known, like, bro, if you come to my house unannounced, bro, you ain't gonna get the response that you're looking for. That shit. Like, my granny here, my girl here, I'm gonna be in protect mode, so don't come to my shit looking for no conversation.
Bro, that shit is real, man. People like, they don't. I get, I don't get my channel ain't nowhere near, but it's the kind of what I put out. And I had a dude, man, I hate to be. It's the Pakistan. All right, in Japan, man, you see the cars getting stolen. It's the combination of Pakistan, the Chinese, and the Nigerian guys, and that's the ring, man. And the Russian guys a little bit too. So those guys are dropped in, and I come back, and now I got a rope now on my shit. When I go to the gas station, anywhere 5 minutes, I put the rope up. So I come back like about 3-4 weeks ago, and there's a dude in the back of my fucking lot with the hood open on one of my cars. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm like, dude, it wasn't nice. I didn't smile. I'm like, dude, leave, man. And I was like, don't come in my shit no more if I'm not here. He's like, oh, my friend, all that shit, whatever. I just,
Break your
yeah, I'm like,
fucking
nah,
neck.
dude. I'm like, don't do that shit. Because if I would have laughed and smiled, it would have been like, okay, this is
You
normal.
thought it was
So it was cool to do it
Yeah.
again.
I mean, I'm talking about in the back of my shit with an evil
That's
weight
why-
with the shit open. I'm
That's
like,
why,
nah,
like I
bro.
told you. That's why, like I told you with Cuz with the motorcycle, nigga. Like I said, I mean, you know where I stay. I can hear Mike on the freeway when he coming.
Yeah.
I know when he coming, right?
Right.
My other partners on bikes or my other partners in cars, I know when they coming. So when I heard that motorcycle ride by, who this?
Yeah.
And when the nigga pull up and parked, I said, oh, nah, my eyes is on him. Then I'm standing up in the window. He can't see me. Then when I saw him take his helmet out and he went in his pocket and pulled his phone out, I pop out like, nigga, what's shaking? Nigga, who is you?
Yeah.
You know, don't do that, cuz.
Yeah, no,
don't do that shit, cuz.
I had, I want to say probably like 2 weeks ago, I had seen this Mustang, and I pull up to the house, and dude pulled up behind me. He was like, "What's up with you, bruh?" And I was like, "What's good?" He was like, "I'm the one who had messaged you on Facebook." I'm like, "Bruh," I'm like, "Don't follow me to my house." I'm like,
see Slim
I'm like,
400 pulled up to his girlfriend's house and the nigga hopped out on some "What's up with you, bro?" and blew that nigga away. Niggas don't do that, nigga.
Yeah.
Luckily for this situation, I had already talked to dude previously, so I knew who it was. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, that's bruh. But seeing somebody follow me, because I had pulled halfway into the driveway and I rolled the window down. Like, it could have went a whole different direction if I wouldn't have recognized who you were.
Shit too crazy out here, man.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers be doing weird shit. The people they idolize, they do weird shit to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just like shit too weird. And
I mean, that shit still tripped me out about, the Nipsey shit, man. It's like that was just that was right in the fucking, dude, that whole shit and like stuff like that, man. That's why. I mean,
but again, like Slim 400 just got killed last week. He pulled up to his girl's house, about to go get him some buns or something. He pull up in the driveway and park, and this nigga run up. As soon as he open the door, hey, what's up, bro? And then he like, oh, hold on, because you see the move coming, but it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, hold on, it's over with. So shit too dangerous to not, like, I just got on my wife the other day, my wife and kid. It's like, yo, did you notice this when you left the house? Nothing was wrong, but I just asked her, did you notice it? She said, nah. I said, how the fuck, I be on her like, yo, you leaving with my kids and everything. I need you to know everything, because before I leave the house, when I walk 4 a.m. to my vehicle, I check the whole block. I scour every vehicle. This car been here. Oh, this car is idling. Or what he idling for? Like, you know what I'm saying? I need to know shit. And I'm on the cameras the whole time until I see they leave the house. I'm on the cameras. I'm knowing everything that's going on, because shit a little too crazy. And so that's why it's like for us, we grow up in a different era where shit was like real active. Mike grew up in an era where shit active.
You learn to move a certain way.
Not only active, but now everything is on it. Everything is out. The what's the dude in Miami or whatever, and what the XXX. I don't know the new guys. He said he was gonna buy this bike, and he posted on Instagram, and the dude's like, oh, he gonna be here with that, and that's how shit's going now. Like dudes are just marking it. I'm gonna be here at this time in the city, and they don't. And like if you're doing wild shit, man, you shouldn't be on Instagram telling motherfuckers where you about to be. Like, that's just not smart, man.
One thing, it's crazy because one thing that I do is if I post, like, say I'm at getting my music hooked up or something, I'll post after I'm already done.
Right.
That's how you do it.
But that's just like, you don't want to drop your location and somebody you got a problem with, like, oh, he over here. Like, that's just shit you just naturally learn. Like, even if I'm walking down the street, I'm looking at every single car that go by. I'm looking inside a car to see if people just sitting there asleep or whatever. That's just how I've always been.
Right.
Like, you have to be like that out here.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm somewhere where I don't feel comfortable, I start seeing too many cars walk by, I'll be like, all right, it's time to go. The vibe ain't right. It'd be time to move.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people just move way too comfortable. Like, you see certain stuff, you're like, damn, how you let that happen?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, that's the I think it just kind of people get comfortable because they feel like they see somebody online or whatever and stuff like that, and they feel like they know somebody off a post.
Me. It's like I'm a movie star.
Yeah.
Nigga,
man,
it's real.
That shit, like the joint where you went bought the Wilson, the dude, and the one was cracked and shit, and I was like, man, that's a little bit far away from home base, man. I don't know who he had some homies in there or whatever. And that's just kind of, now I'm from Baltimore, man.
I told you how we went with my boy. We was in LA looking at SCs. I had the motherfucking
Yeah.
Like this. And I'm like, we too far away from home.
Yeah.
We got to get home. You know
but even for that situation, man, I had like when I had posted about it, one of my partners, one of my day ones had hit me, like my OG homie. He was like, "What happened?" And I had told him. He was like, "So what we doing?" He was like, when I had called him, he was like, "Man," he was like, "I'm gonna pull up." He was like, "I'm not gonna." He was like, "I ain't gonna talk about it on the phone. I'm gonna pull up on you and see what you want to do." Like, niggas were ready to go back out there, but I'm like, is this shit like? Is it really worth us driving way out here for me to go throw this fucking wheel back through this nigga's window? Like, he ain't gonna come outside to fight me. Like, bro was like all of 5'4", you know? Like, he ain't about to fight me at 6'2". Like, if he came out with a issue, he gonna come out with a gun. Now, we done came here looking for a fight, and now we done smoked this nigga, or we done got smoked.
Yeah.
Like, now look at the situation, you know? So, granted, I got my money back. So, once I got my money back, I was like, cool. I one-upped him. I got my money back. I kept the nigga wheels. I'm like, I ain't tripping. No need for me to go back.
And he definitely hit you up about it.
If I didn't get my money back, I probably would have went out there and threw that shit through his window. Just
yeah, my bad. I'm like, look, I got a deed room a lot right now and shit. I got a rope and car blocking it off. He's leaving now, so nah, whatever. He's cool. But yeah, man, let me. Yeah, man, we talk about it's happening live right now. I got the scar. I got eight cameras on my Scarface joint right now, 360 degrees. Because
lights out.
Every time I be looking off camera, my camera's set up. My monitor for is right here.
Yeah, Mike, where I'm at? I'm up in. Well, I'm 8 hours north of Tokyo, so I'm like in the boondocks of Japan. So I mean, it's safe here, and I got like Skyline Super. I got everything here, and I got like pretty much I got a plastic rope. I parked a car to block the lot off. But if I had to set up in Tokyo, I had to have like a fence and guardrails and barbed wire and all types of shit because the cars getting stolen down there a bunch, man. So the theft.
I got a question for you, then.
Yeah, what's up?
Why you ain't sent us no Supras or some shit out here?
I got them, man. I got them. Yeah, I got the. I mean, the shit ain't the thing about it. Like you mentioned, the Jay-Z's are $7K there. They're like fucking $10K here. So everything is going up. Like the everything is going up, man. So right now, what's keeping me open, you know, to be honest, because I lost a lot of money during the pandemic, is I got a bunch of cars, man. I just sold the R34 in 25 minutes. They had like a little bit of core damage, but it was a good car. 25 minutes sold. And so I got a bunch of shit that I don't want to sell that, you know, when I need to get it sold to buy some other shit or do some other business stuff, I put it up. But like a Supra MK4, they're going for like 38, 39 here for a base model MK4 that needs 100K service and everything. So a fucking 180SX, they're now 28K for a fucking S13.
Crazy.
I remember us out there like, man, you get an S13 for $1,200.
Yeah, I mean, when I got here in 2008, I got my R33 because I was a 32 guy, but I got here in the first day I didn't want them anymore because there was just that many of them. I got an R33, and I actually, because I'm a bigger dude, R33 actually fit me better than a 32, and I kind of grew into it. But I paid $5K for that R33. And I crashed it after 2 years. But that same R33 now, I got a customer's drop one off yesterday. He paid $24 for his GTST. I'm like, bro, man, it's just the
GTST.
Yeah, the market is fucked. The market is fucked. And honestly, it's America's fault because the Japanese caught on to how much this shit was going for. And Japanese, all right, man, my wife's Japanese. I love her, whatever. But Japanese are like horses with blinders on. They only see Japan. So when they seen Instagram and Twitter now is popping off. Now Japanese is seeing where all their shit's going to. So if I do a Yahoo search for a 13B, there's only 4 13Bs in the whole Japan that's available for sale right now. If you do an SR20, there's like maybe 5 or 6 SR20s for sale. Like no shit right now. So the market is, everything is in Australia, Europe, and America, and now they seeing that shit. So now they getting the money now. So everything is gone up, man. Shit's wild. This is wild.
Holding on to our old JD legend.
I got a TTZ over here right now, man, and I'm about to put a 26 in it and sell that because I bought it for like a little. I'm not gonna say how much I bought it for because, you know what I mean, motherfuckers be in your pockets. But the man, it's the shit's pretty much I'm ahead of the game. and instead of buying like crypto and shit, I just buy cars, and it's pretty much and I hold those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I know what we gonna do one day.
Yeah.
Mike gonna get 4 of the cars that he could drive. I'm gonna take my 4. We gonna go to the track.
Yeah.
Hey, see, he keep it at it because I just said this before. He be like, "Fuck no."
Yeah.
But that shit is hilarious. I
told him I want to take the 300ZX to a track day.
Yeah, we gonna do that.
That I want to take.
Yeah, man.
A little SR thing.
Yeah, we no doubt, work, man.
No doubt, man. Like, so far, I mean, on that, man, mentioning that, man, like I've done, and that's another thing too, man. I don't, I see a lot of guys, who was in my, I see a lot of motherfuckers in my inbox about getting a car, but again, being that black dude, and I do everything on the up and up, like, and I gotta let them know, hey, man, it's gonna be like this, and this, ain't no homeboy shit, blah blah blah. You're gonna fill out this form, and I'm talking about, Lex, I'm talking about shop, I'm talking about 3 or 4 dudes in FD. Who notable guys hit me up and they thought they were just gonna get the pass right into like the fashion. I'm like, nah, dude, you gonna fill out this form, you gonna do this. And he's like, oh, well, I work for. I'm like, yeah, I know who you are, I know who you work for, I know who you pit for, but they ain't got nothing to do with my fucking pockets and everything. When I hit them like that, they just they go off and they like, hey man, thanks for white plate, thanks for importing this and making it so special. What it is, they bent over for him and they fucking was answering messages 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, nah, dude. 9:45 to 1600 is when I'm gonna talk to you, and I hit them like that, and they don't want to do it, so they like, oh man, he's aggressive and this and this and this. Like, nah, bro, it's gonna go this way. So, I've done 380 cars since 2018 shipped out, of exported and everything, man. So that I got the system packed down. It's just it's simple too. It's just it's a certain amount of things you gotta do and everything to get things shipped out, but it's like. You know what, man? The dudes like, and I had, some notable YouTubers hit me up, man. Like, hey, man, we could do this and this and this, and I want to raffle it off. I'm talking about, no shade, man. I had like Kenan and Juco hit me up, and I talked to him, and he kind of and Ken is good, but he kind of wanted a 180, and they were starting to be 18, 19, and I'm like, dude, I can't get you a 180 for 10K, because he didn't want to spend too much on it. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, it's just not like that. And he thought I was trying to like, pull it out of him. I'm like, nah, bro, I can't. 15K 180 is a rust bucket now. That's just not. I can't get it. And it kind of stopped there. And I think they got one for somebody else. I'm like, hey man, sorry, bro. You know what I mean? I wanted to do business.
Do stuff for got to do stuff for people, man. But,
yeah. So
that's just how shit be.
Yeah, and it's So in a nutshell, it would seem like I don't got the resources, but I could put anything anywhere in the world. It's just. I can't make the market change, and that's just the way it is right now. But
nah, we gonna come out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I got the bikes and shit now. I got
walking around with dreads and shit.
I got the
trying
bikes.
to get in a K car.
I got the Hayabusa go-kart coming up, turbo. I
don't want nothing with no fucking bike engine on it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But hey, Mike, man, thanks for your time, man. Lex, as always, man. You know what I mean? Everybody here knows, who's watching. They pretty much seen your videos and everything, and I'll still drop your stuff down there, of course, and everything, man. Yeah. It's all love and everything, man. And again, man, we definitely can do this and chop it up. It's been a long time, dude. But like you said, man, I wanted Lex even, kind of said it too. I wanted where the production is now. And everything, it was some guys I wanted to get on, but I wanted to make sure the production like it is now, the lighting, and I got the whole studio. In my last shop, I was setting up the shit and taking it down every time it looked like shit. And now I got like this shit stays here. It's the podcast studio, sound deadening, and all that stuff now, man. So it's pretty cool, and it makes it happen, man. So, I mean, any parting words, man? Anything you want to promote, Lex and Mike?
I'm good, man. Follow me on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
So yeah, by the way, at the end of the podcast, he's a YouTuber, by the way, guys. We didn't
like and subscribe. If you like this video, get us to 10,000 likes.
Yeah.
Hey, so
10,000 likes.
Lex is gonna dye his beard pink.
No. Hey, so when we're gonna raffle that Z off right there behind you, man.
No. We're gonna take that motor and say how it broke and throw it on his hood.
Yeah. Do that shit.
Nah, but like I say every time, and this is why I wanted to have Mike on, in the year and everything. Like all this shit is organic, shit real. So when I be talking about everybody keep y'all vibes good, You know what I'm saying? Fuck everything, because shit could be worse.
Yeah.
Everything goes bad around this motherfucker, but
no doubt.
this is an organic thing from the moment we met. It's continued organic. The way he does his shit is organic. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
So this is what I be saying, like, keep the vibes good, stay organic, like it's good energy, stays on you.
It takes less energy to be. It takes less energy to not be fake, man, than it is to be fake. That shit's like that's like a dude who have, like, you know what I mean, we all been around the block, and, like, you know what I mean, I think my record in one day was banging 3 chicks in college, you know what I'm saying? But that shit was a lot of work, man. The coordination and, like, making sure the other chick left me for the other. Like, man, fuck that. I could just get one chick. It's all gonna be the same outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like
I didn't definitely did a lot of nigga shit in my years. So.
Yeah, no.
It took a minute to get to a realization. I was like, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, I didn't have bad bitches and all that, but you get to a point, you like I got a house with my girl now. You know, we got shit built. I'm like, I lose her. What other female I'm about to find that's making 6 figures, coming home, cooking and cleaning, and ain't talking to niggas in her DMs?
Yeah, dude, that's the real shit, man. And, like, you know what I mean, that's, you know, I keep it real, man. I just got done with my 5th. I had 5 kids in 5 years, so they were just coming out and shit, right? And it was points where I told my wife, I'm like, man, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, I was like, I mean, like, I'm hearing the kids here, but, like, I can't get a hug and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not scared of chicks. I can go out there and get it. And I ain't gonna lie, man, being a dude is like, man, fuck this. I could do that, but at the same time, you know what made me think about it was I go on to Pornhub, and, you know what I mean, then I'm cool. And then it's like you fuck up all that shit for one moment, man, and it's like, nah, it ain't worth it, dude. It ain't worth it. And that's, people call it like grown man shit. It's like, it really ain't worth it. She's doing her thing and taking care of the kids, and I'm over here making money and shit. So it's like, when you get to that point, I've been around, dude. I've banged chicks in Iraq. It's like, this shit's all. I've been in Germany. I'm like, bro, it's all the same, man. It's just different colors.
That shit felt the same.
It's all the same. It's all the same, man.
At that moment you busting that, you had that instant regret.
Like,
fuck.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie though, man. And a German chick though, that shit was cool as fuck. And she was talking to me in German. I didn't know what the fuck she was saying, and it was after Iraq.
She was
probably saying, "Hey, black nigger with the mohawk."
No, this is before the mohawk, man.
Beat me like we used to beat you on the plantation.
Yeah. Actually, my wife just pulled up.
These guts.
Get them sugar water.
My wife, she just pulled up in a family van and everything. But no, man, like that was like some one second, let me. She just pulled up in a family van. But I was like, no, man, I got there in Germany. Like, dude, I was in Iraq for 9 months, and like this particular tour, I didn't bang nobody. Because the first one I had, it was a hookup I had with this chick, but the second tour I was like, all right, I'm cool, whatever. And like we got back from Iraq, and this is after, you know, being in combat, getting hit by IEDs, blah blah, whatever, man. And so I go to Germany, and we had to stay on the base for 4 days before we go out into the public, because we had to go to all these meetings and make sure we don't like beat motherfuckers up, and because we getting shot at and shit, right? So we're hostile. Yeah, and she parking right now. But we were like, it was like, all right, we go out, man.
Come in here, you talking about whooping guts?
No. Long story short, no, she's outside. I can see her on the camera.
She coming.
Yeah. Long story short, man, we go out. Hey, we go out, right? We go out in Germany, and like one thing I noticed, man, everybody's swole. And all these mixed kids that from all the American dudes bang all the German chicks. So you got Spice Girl, Jerry Holloway looking chicks out there. And it's 8 o'clock, right? And I'm already had banged a German chick. And I'm like, what the fuck to do the rest of the night? I'm cool. Everybody else is trying to get their shit in. And I'm like, man, that shit was just like, it was just cool. And at that moment, I'm like, man, you know why I banged this German chick? But I'm like, it felt the same as some chick I banged in, you know, Baltimore named Stacy. You know what I mean? It ain't, it's the same shit, man.
The only thing that makes it mentally like, oh, this shit was dope.
Yeah.
Was how much better does this bitch look than this other bitch that I fucked the other time?
Yeah.
How much effort did I have to put into it?
Yeah.
How juiced am I at the moment that she's finally about to let me whoop these walls? You know?
Yeah. Because I ain't gonna lie, that first time I banged a Japanese chick, I was like, man, this shit's really happening. I'm like, and that shit was like, it was like that first time was like the climax of of all of them, I've been with a few of them since then. You know what I mean? Not gonna name extra numbers and shit, but I've been with a few of them, man. And it's like that first time was like orgasmic and shit, if it makes sense. Then after that, I was like, all right, this shit's normal, man.
It was the pinnacle.
Yeah, it was the pinnacle, man. You know, my first Spanish chick, I was like, she was the wildest chick ever. And like, you know what I mean? It was just like, you know.
Then once you get around it, you be like,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah. This shit.
Thing is, man, it's like the moment we done, do I want to sit there and lay with you and have a conversation still? Or am I like, man, so what you about to do? Like, I got work in the morning.
Hey, like somebody said, man. Somebody said
it's getting hella late.
Yeah, somebody was like, hey, man, you know those dudes out there tired of Beyonce shit? It's like, yeah.
Goddamn right. Yeah. They was just laughing about Quavo and Sweetie.
Yeah.
They was like, niggas was like, how he leave her? And then all of a sudden we be seeing her in all these videos and that twerking and her ass is solid as a rock. We say, oh, we know why that nigga left her. Yeah. She goofy as fuck and she probably annoying and smell crazy. But yeah, it's always something. But man, this was
yeah.
This was good. This was what I.
Oh yeah, man. We don't. I was glad we saved this X-rated shit for the last part, man.
I know for the last.
No, that's all good. It's just like, man, some of the shit, man. The shit Schultz and we talking about on their podcast, man.
The heavies.
Yeah, and that shit ain't even fucking like they ain't even on the. Hey, and that, well, I got a quick question for you, Mike, man. Have you done any or are you going to do any of that what's the new shit everybody's throwing now, the Patreon shit? You do any of that or you know?
Man, he's been trying to get me to do that for like the last
yeah.
So he gonna do it when he feel like it.
His thing behind it, like we have different like visions on it. He like, man, you can get the one-on-one with your fans and you can get the big bag. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but I don't like the idea of selling myself as time. You know, I don't want people like, oh, I gotta subscribe and pay this nigga just to be a part of something.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, if you fuck with me, do me that one solid, go watch my videos and stuff, and then when I jump on live on Instagram, we can interact there. You ain't gotta pay nothing. So the time I did think about doing a Patreon was when my Instagram kept getting hacked. And I was like, you know what? Or not hacked, they kept flagging my shit, then they eventually deleted it.
Right.
So I was like, man, I should do a Patreon, and I was like either Patreon or OnlyFans. And for that, shit. I was gonna do like some wild shit. Like for the ride-alongs I was doing, I was gonna do like.
So when you say OnlyFans, I'm just thinking like.
Oh no, the actual use of what OnlyFans was for, but
like,
what was he doing? Yeah, what was he doing with his ride-alongs? He had the heavies. The heavies always be moving around in his ride-alongs. Yeah. So he would have been able to have the heavies out.
But for the X-rated ride-along edition would have been like, all right, man, we got some nipple tape or something. Yeah. Just do the extreme. Make the OnlyFans worth it. Like, get your money's worth. We'll sit here and chit chat, and here goes some, fast cars, ass, titties, and good vibes, bro. Ain't nobody gonna complain about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, my girl wasn't feeling the OnlyFans. Yeah. She was like, She's like, I don't care about you giving rides because she know that should pay for our house, but she was like, ain't no bitch riding no cars naked.
She probably got other friends like he gonna have chicks sitting on the shift knob and all types of shit. Over there, man. Like, she
was cool with the ride-alongs until 1.
Yeah.
That's just might be pushing the boundaries.
1.
It happens, man.
Yeah, man. Play as fuck up. Get some nigga shit.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's all good. But, hey, man, again, brothers, man, it's been a great time, man. It's gonna be. I can't wait to get this one up, man. So this will be up probably like Today it's Friday in Japan. Lex, of course, we got the other one. The one before this one that's gonna actually go up tomorrow morning, and then this will probably roll out Saturday or Sunday, man. So it'll be some good times.
Let me know, man. Send me a link.
For sure.
Link this on Facebook and Instagram and shit too. YouTube, all that.
Y'all send a link and everything.
Well, also,
I got hella clips on this one though, man. So it's like I got 12 clips, man. This just been action packed, man. So.
Yeah, no, we need because with the actual videos, we'll send some. I know you probably keep all of that shit, the old 300ZX videos and a couple. Well, if you got them on YouTube,
I got them. Yeah, cool. I got them on. I'll get them out there and everything, man. So, but again, man, thanks for the time, man. She out there bugging me now because she says, Yeah. Nah, man.
Bring your
Like,
black ass out.
no. I told her. No, I told her like about 4 months ago. I was like, hey man, you gotta start giving me hugs or some shit, or I'm gonna start getting them from somewhere else. And she been bugging since then. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Bring your black ass out,
Yeah.
nigga dick.
Yeah.
That's how what's the name dropped in the nip. Yeah.
Our boy got
Oh
a
my
Chinese girl.
God.
She
Yeah.
be like, fuck you, nigga dick. I don't want to suck your dick.
I thought he was joking until I actually heard it for myself. I say, "Hey, yo!"
Even when I met her, I was like, "Damn, you hella short." She's like, "Fuck you, Mike."
It's just like you
nigga.
see a Chinese person throw the N-word around and then you're like, all right, it's
Yo,
cool.
She date a nigga.
Yeah.
So she be around nigga shit, and he said when he met her, he was like, man,
like Chinese
he
quiet broad.
he was like she was super nice, super quiet. He was like, I used to say hi to the bitch. She used to bow.
Yeah.
He was like, now she's like, the bitch be calling me a nigga, talking shit, talking about my dick stink.
Yeah.
Hella funny.
Oh my god.
Hella funny.
Get
that's
it converted, man.
hilarious.
But hey, man, like I say, man, it's all open. I'm gonna get that stuff up, man, and then like definitely, man, when shit opens back up, man, I'm definitely gonna let everybody know, because what they're gonna do here in Japan, they're gonna open up the borders, and those plane tickets are gonna be cheap, man. So I got the cars, I got the bikes, I got the fun over here, man. We definitely can do it.
Your shit.
And
don't tell me to set a trip to Japan, because I ain't never been there.
Hey, I got it, man. You know what I mean? It's all you got. Everybody who showed up, man, they showed up, and I took care of them, man. Like everything is swell over here, man. So
I'm gonna be over there trying to find a Supra to send back.
All right, the thing is, they out there, man. We got it's like, you know, we'll talk offline. I got the grapevine, you know what I'm saying? I get the, you know.
What's up with the Arabians and Russians that be stealing them? I don't mind having a stolen car from Japan.
Hey, go to jetspec.com, man. They be all in there, all the front clips, and yeah, man, you seen it.
I have a Supra with an SC300 VIN on it.
Shit, man, I ran into a chop shop, man, before, and I didn't report it, but because I wasn't sure, but I was 99.8% sure that was a chop shop. It was just that 2%. I was like, man, maybe they just taking apart nice cars in the middle of the night. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I'm talking about, like, man, fucking 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, I roll up with a car and it's like a one-way in maze to get in there. I'm talking about Super Skylines, Arcs, nice ass cars that's being ripped apart. There ain't no fucking maintenance going on. I'm like, hey, man. And it's only me there, and there's a bunch of Russians and shit surrounding me with pipes and shit. I'm like, man.
Hey, about them. Bloody shit.
So I mean, I was like, if I would have acted like a bitch for one second, I was like, hey man, I walked towards them and they start backing up and shit. Like, oh, he's obviously not a bitch.
Yeah.
But I like, this nigga black, he got a gun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was like, hey man, where you want this fucking car at, man? R33. Where you want this car at, man? Oh, over there, buddy. And they chilled out. I'm like, what do you want? I'm like, what the fuck you mean what I want? I'm dropping off this car. It was definitely a chop shop, and I got the fuck out of there before they happened to get raided, and I happened to be in there and shit and whatever, man. But hey, man, I don't want to start the shit before we get off here, man. Again, hey, Mike, this we do this shit all the time, Mike, and everything, man. So again, the guys there, just go out there and check out again. Lexis from this guy say Richmond, I say Richmond, California, not V, not C, and everything, man. We got Mike over there. This is Myke, and everything. And make sure you check that out and everything. And then also, guys, just be sure to do what you gotta do to get all this Corona shit. That way we can get shit back on order, and to prevent and whatever, man. Do what you gotta do, man. Do your thing. I mean, wear your mask where you gotta wear that shit, and take it off when you want to take it off, man. So we can get out of this bullshit and get back to it. So I can get over there.
You better not be over here preaching go get vaccinated.
No. I ain't preaching on this.
Don't get us started on this conversation.
No, I'm just trying to get everything back to normal so I can come over there and do Formula Drift and shit and do my thing.
I know you do jiu-jitsu and shit, man. I've been out here doing Muay Thai, man. I think I might get you, bro.
Yeah. I got mats. I got a gym here too in the studio.
They come slap mats
so
when you get over there.
No grappling.
We can get
no rolling, man. We gotta do stand up on.
All right, that's cool. We got that, man. But hey, man, it's been a good time, man. It's definitely, man. Again, thanks for your time. I know you're a busy guy out there. You gotta go home and edit up vlogs right now, probably. and everything.
I actually edited the video that I'm posting tomorrow. I edited it yesterday, and a video I shot today, I edited as soon as I posted it because I knew it was gonna be on the pod. So I ain't gotta edit tonight. I'm cool. I'm chilling.
Yeah. Only thing I got edit is this joint. I got the joint with Lex. The last joint we did. I'm actually as soon as we get off, I'm uploading
this
that right
shit like
now.
3 hours.
This is what we're normally fucking. We
Yeah,
normally
man.
be fucking around like this.
It would be like a quick one and shit, and that shit be like 3 hours later. All right, man, we're good.
Would be hour 50.
But now I got the other joint. I'm gonna upload that as soon as we get off here. I'm gonna upload that to YouTube, and then it'll be on there. Then they'll release tomorrow morning, and then if I get, but she's fucking waving at me right now on the camera and shit. But, all right, man. All right, thanks for hey, man.
Go out there and get nunchucks.
Hey, her name is Shinobu, and you know Shinobi is a ninja.
Yeah.
So she get mad. I call her Shinobi and shit.
Assassin.
Ninja.
She about to blow a poison needle through a
ninja.
your ass.
And Ninja Gaiden and shit, man. Yeah. All right, man. All right, man. It's too easy, man. Be easy. Hey, guys out there again.
Me, bro. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro. And the guys out there again, thank you for tuning in. Whatever, subscribe if you made this far along. If you listen to 3 hours of podcast and you ain't subscribed, man, I don't know what the fuck you doing with your life, man. So see you later, man. It's gonna be down south from Massage Japan, Pinku Style Podcast. Out.